Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 274. We have almost everyone here. We're just missing Nate, right? Is that it?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Just missing Nate. Everyone's returned. Last week there were just a few of us, so it's good to see everyone back full strength just about here. Let me go around here. We're gonna start with Miss Click. Click, how you doing today?
Yeah, I feel like I haven't been on in like 2 years. I know it's only been a couple weeks, but yeah, hi.
Good to have Click here. Good to have Click here. We all had a lot of fun at Too Many Games. So
I did.
Man, it was legit the funnest time, dude. It was super fun.
It's good to see everyone there. Let's see. Let's go around. We got MVG is returning.
Hey,
After mostly completing his move, he's there. He's still waiting for some stuff to show up.
Throw the West sign. Throw the West sign.
yeah,
Let's
man, West Side, let's go. It's good to be back. I've been gone obviously for a couple of weeks as well, but great to be here. Thanks for having me on as always. Miss you guys.
We got OJ Player Essence.
Deuces. Good to be back. Shout outs to everybody that came through the Spawncast pre-show despite some technical difficulties. Still had a really good pre-show. It was a lot of fun, a lot of cool questions. So yeah, it's cool to be back. Wasn't on last week, was I? I don't think I was.
No. You were out doing some other stuff. You were busy.
Yeah.
A little busy. I saw the picture on Twitter. It was good to see it. Good to see.
It was a lot of fun.
We're having fun. We're having fun over there. We have Sean RGT85.
Greetings.
To have Sean here, controversial as usual today.
I didn't do anything.
And,
I heard, yeah, it's
Super
the
Chat
worst
says
year
otherwise.
ever for video games.
Worst year
Jeez.
ever in games.
I said nothing of the sort.
we have Max, Dreamcast guy. Doing Max.
Well, I'm here to hype Elden Ring. Apparently,
Got Jordan Fringe. Jordan. Oh,
Uh-huh.
I like the hoodie. That's
Oh,
that's cool.
Appreciate
Yeah.
it. You know, I
Color.
just want to say that just out of curiosity, I played a little bit of a game called Balan Wonderworld.
oh my god,
For like, I don't know, like 10 minutes. And
And you
I'm
lived
really-
to tell the tale?
I'm really excited that Sean gets to play this whole game and
Play
beat
that
it
shit.
because after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, I had to turn it off.
Oh,
It's
it
man.
gets
really
worse. Trust me, as a person who beat it, it keeps getting worse.
I'm glad I didn't go any further.
Nintendo ain't even talking about what they're doing in the second half of 2022. You think you're fucking be like, oh yeah, by the way, Metroid.
Well, apparently it only costs $40,000 to get a question at the investors meeting, and you can ask about Metroid Dread.
I'm not spending $40,000 of my own money.
I'm just throwing it out there for any investors in Nintendo who's going to ask them a question at some point. Just feel free to ask about Metroid Dread.
That's
You
crazy.
can get a sales
though.
update on that. Then we have Evan
Yep,
holding it
still
down over
alive.
there. Good stuff. We'll see if Nate randomly pops in. He might. So we'll keep it out. He did that last week. He just randomly popped in halfway through the show. So we'll see what he has there. But tonight we were going to be talking about that new Switch OLED for Splatoon, along with just the entire Switch Pro arc that happened again this week. Had God of War get its release date, which is exciting. It's another game from Sony. Well, for Sony, get delayed into next year as well. And then I wanted to touch on gaming in 2022. Sean brought this topic up for his video today. Apparently, it's the worst year ever for gaming.
Nothing of the sort.
I saw that video.
However, I don't know if you're necessarily alone in the thought that this is a down year for gaming, Sean. So I figured we would just kind of go through it.
I just said it was kind of boring. There hasn't been many surprises thus far. It's, for the whole crux of it is that this was supposed to be a big year after the COVID era, and this was the year you're going to see everything. And realistically, it's been pushed to 2023 again. That was kind of the whole point of the video.
Okay.
Been some surprise. Tiny Tina Wonderlands was a good surprise. Sifu was a good surprise. Dying Light 2 not sucking was a good surprise.
No, Dying Light 2, I don't think was going to be a bad game. Tiny Tina can burn in fucking hell. I watched someone play that.
Great.
It's
I
great.
watched
It's
someone
great.
play that
It
for
was
10 minutes,
great.
and that
Man.
writing was atrocious.
Play muted. Play muted.
Yeah, play muted.
Atrocious.
Do we just want to start with that topic just in case Nate pops in for the
I
other
think-
two just points?
I think this year was
2022.
pretty solid. Triangle strategy was freaking incredible. Pokemon Legends was awesome. Kirby was better than I think people even thought it was going to be. So I don't know.
Mario Strikers?
Yeah, no,
Hell
Strikers not as good. People
Yeah.
thought
Not
it was
Strike-
better
okay,
than what it
okay.
actually was.
I went the other
But-
way.
I mean, like, I thought this year has been really good. Obviously, I'm not a big Elden Ring guy, but everybody here says, or most of you guys say that Elden Ring was incredible. Horizon Forbidden West has been really good as well. People are starting to pick that up. That's starting to go, like, get steady, more sales and everything. So I think it's been a pretty damn good, year so far. I mean, that's.
I never said it was bad.
Yeah.
Find in that video where I say bad.
Are you saying
you don't.
I've said boring.
Are you
It's
saying
boring?
Are you saying it's like
But it's not boring?
It is to some people.
for you, Sean?
Sean, sometimes you seem like that guy who eats like a 6-course meal and you're like, I'm not even hungry anymore. It's like, yeah, because we've been eating.
Are you? I'm curious. Do you just think it's a down year in general from like last year and the year before? Is that what you're saying mostly? Like compared to other years, it feels boring.
It feels like that this was supposed to be a big year for all three companies, and it really just hasn't been.
I can actually agree with that just because Microsoft lost Starfield and it lost
exactly.
Don't we always say next year's going to be the big year? Because now everything's pushed to 2023, so we're saying next year's going to be the big year. But
next year
it only takes a couple of delays, and then all of a sudden it's 2024.
Well, I mean, we're talking about it from from what the companies are telling us. The companies are the ones telling us that, oh yeah, your Breath of the Wild 2, your Starfield, all your the games that you've been waiting for that we said were going to come in 2022. Now they're coming in 2023. That's the whole point.
Were you hoping that there were going to be more surprises than what we had already known?
Just not even necessarily games that released, but it's like what has really been talked about this year where it's like, oh, holy shit, I can't wait to play that we didn't already know about. There hasn't been many things as far as new projects that come to mind for me that I've just been like super excited about.
The announcement in 2022? Or like announced in 2022?
Yeah, like video games as a whole. Video games as a whole doesn't necessarily mean just the games that were released. It's about the announcements, the news, the sneak reveals, the surprise games that we never thought.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh,
right.
Well,
you're a fan, right? You always say you're a fan. You buy all the games. Xenoblade 3.
It is interesting because we went through June, and Microsoft had an event where they just showed off games basically for next year. Nintendo didn't have a first party event, and Sony didn't have a first party event.
No, John, I'm crazy. This is the best. This is the best year in video games ever.
Here's the reason I can kind of agree with you on this year, Sean, is because one of the three manufacturers isn't even participating in this year. Basically, they're just looking towards next year with Microsoft.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say this isn't a down year when one of the three isn't doesn't have anything really prepared.
We got Scorn. Scorn's going to be the game of the year. John, quit being a negative.
But even Scorn's not from Microsoft.
I can agree. Microsoft has had a little bit of, because they haven't released any big first party games. So I guess you can say for sure that's the case, with Microsoft. But I mean, I know Gran Turismo was kind of upsetting, but I guess Gran Turismo was this year as well. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure that sold well enough for them. And people who were don't really criticize the gameplay. They were just the way that they handled the microtransactions mostly was a big thing.
It was more just the content overall.
There was hype for Horizon, and it got delayed from Elden Ring and Horizon.
Elden Ring hurt Horizon, I would say.
We're both delayed from last. Those were the big games that people were looking forward to last year, and they got delayed to this year. So I guess, that was what people were looking forward to.
All of Sony's games this year were technically delayed.
Ones,
yeah. So they all fell into 2022.
I guess the fundamental thing I disagree with you on, Sean, is I do feel like these games are coming out and they are stirring up conversation and hype and fun. Like, I feel like the conversation on my side of internet anyways, the Horizon conversation lasted months, and Elden Ring, I still see crazy Elden Ring content and discoveries and stuff.
I will give you Elden Ring. I will not give you Horizon.
Horizon, yeah, absolutely. I mean, Gran Turismo
talking about it.
Yeah,
I will not give you that.
I still say Gran Turismo felt like a wet turd, and Ghostwire, of course, flopped out in the toilet. But I think Horizon is still getting talked about.
I was actually I feel like I was talking with some friends, and even Too Many Games, I think the topic came up too, where really, honestly, the title Too Many Games kind of felt very fitting, because I feel like there's so many different types of games that people kind of get lost in everything that comes out, because I think after a certain point, people's interests start to become, granted, we're creators, so we look at things, more from a general basis, covering anything or everything, or we feel like we're obligated to, whatever the case is. I feel like a lot of people start getting more into niched experiences, and they're not playing everything that might come out because it's something that might not fit their certain interest. But from what I can see, at least on from my feeds and stuff, people are just as equally still talking about Horizon as they are Elden Ring. But again, that's just my specific circle of experience, or maybe the way my feed is tailored, because I did play Horizon. I posted about it. It's in my algorithm and it's still relevant. But I just feel like maybe people in a way are still oversaturated. I would agree that there aren't as many surprises this year. And maybe that's why it kind of feels like an year, because we kind of already, for the most part, knew about a lot of things, except for the last couple months. But, you know, I mean, we do have God of War still coming out. Horizon was solid. Elden was solid. Like, those are really 3 big games. When you look back, it's like Horizon's not going to be in the Game of the Year talk, which it is a good game. I mean, but I'm really excited.
It might find its way in there, Click, just because
it'll be nominated. But I mean, I think it's going to get
it's coming down to 2 games. It's coming down to 2 games, I think.
Yeah. And God of War is going to have really big shoes to fill. So not just up against Elden Ring, but also against its predecessor. So I just, you know, I think we just like, even the Cuphead DLC and stuff just came out, and I feel like I didn't see enough people. I mean, I saw a ton of people posting about it, but I thought people were gonna be going crazy. I think people were just wanting it to come out and talk about it coming out, and where has it been? And when it actually came out, like, they had too many other things to play, so they just didn't even touch it. And it's like, I think that's how a lot of games are right now, is they are excited, they talk about it, they hype it up, and then it comes out, they're like, oh, I'll play it in a couple weeks. And it's like, all right, well, there's so many games.
It's like Sunbreak is like crazy on my feed right now.
Yeah,
people are just going nuts about
I've
Sunbreak.
had probably 50 hours in Sunbreak already. I was out of town, and that's what I've been playing this whole time. But I haven't even got to touch 3 Hopes fully. I played it like one night.
I just started playing that. Like, I put about 5 hours into it. I'm freaking in love with it because it takes all of the freaking tedious things about Fire Emblem 3 Houses and makes it far more streamlined.
Yeah,
like all the like teaching stuff and all the other things that you do. It makes it so much more fun that way. So yeah, I've been enjoying it a lot more than I actually thought I would, because like I thought Fire Emblem Warriors was okay, but this one's way better. So yeah, but I can definitely see, like, I did watch, you know, the video. Like, I don't disagree completely with, you know, Sean, because Xbox clearly, right? So I mean, like that's a problem, you know.
I wonder if it's just that we know that 2023 is going to be so packed, so it's kind of hard not to just see that this year is a bit more slim pickings, because it does. Starfield, as much as I think Starfield looks like it definitely needs more time in the oven, that game does look like it's going to be big. There's talks of Elden Ring DLC, or maybe even Miyazaki's next game being huge, maybe even show next year. Like 2023 sounds like it's going to be a banger.
It sounds like their next game is Armored Core.
Yeah.
Well, after Armored Core, they talk about some fantasy game, and it sounds like they want to reveal their fantasy game next year, which I'm so curious about.
Here's what I'm curious about, Sean. Let's say Starfield came out this year and Breath of the Wild 2 came out this year. Would that turn the whole thing around for you?
Well, first off, yes, but second off, I was just talking about the first half of the year, and then what we know about the second half.
Okay.
Hey, you never know. Cyberpunk's coming out, right? Cyberpunk's coming.
I can agree. The first half, I'm trying to think of, so from like January to June.
Well, I mean, you say January to today. I don't care.
Well, I mean, looking at a list, there was some good stuff. I mean, I think Weird West was a good hit. Kirby, obviously. I mean, there's been good stuff. Tunic was a good indie hit.
I love Triangle Strategy. Like, the
big
play that game felt that it was just an incredible strategy RPG. It's my favorite strategy RPG of all time. That and like Final Fantasy Tactics and Fire Emblem. So
I think I have the answer to this question.
What is it?
This should be a good topic for the Spawncast after show, debuting on the RGT Live the next.
Yeah, Sean's doing an after show after this, so maybe we'll roll into there with some of that talk too. But I can kind of see where you're coming from with the first half of this year, Sean. Because if you didn't like Elden Ring, you're kind of in trouble.
And I know Pokemon Legends had its issues, but I really liked Pokemon Legends Arceus. Like, I thought that was a really good step. Like the throwing mechanics, like that was super fun. I put like 80 something hours into that game, and then they released new content for it. Like, it was like back to back. Then it was like Kirby, then it was like Triangle Strategy, then it was Kirby, you know, and then we're into Fire Emblem now. Xenoblade's coming very soon now too as well. So I mean, it's just been like, for me, it's just been like I have to like try to find time to play all these different games, you know, on top of that. So I don't know.
I have a question for Sean about the after show. Will hairs be burned?
I mean, you don't know what could happen there. It's going to be very low brow.
We'd be in trouble this year without Elden Ring and without Square Enix.
True.
Yeah. Square's holding it up right now. I give them credit.
I'd be fine.
No. Well, no, that's a Triangle Strategy.
I'm trying to think. Sony had Horizon, Gran Turismo. They had something else, didn't they?
And now The Last of Us is coming out in a second, and God of War. That's their 4 games this
but
year.
like their first 2, those are their 2. Nintendo had Kirby,
Pokemon.
Well, I don't count. I count Pokemon as the Pokemon company with Game Freak.
Nintendo.
Oh, do you?
It. What?
Yeah. I'm talking about wholly owned intellectual properties by the company.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
Pokemon only comes out on Nintendo
I'm with you,
systems,
John.
though.
Don't worry.
Yeah. I don't.
No, I have
Nintendo-
Pokemon
Nintendo
Go on
has
my iPhone.
I'm on Team OJ.
they. I mean, no. I see what you're saying though, John. Like, because like Nintendo does publish and distribute other games too.
Right.
Like Pokemon seems to be like it's only on Nintendo, and they publish and distribute it, and they own part of it. You know, they also own part of it. So, yeah, but I mean, I see what you're saying though. It's not.
They do own part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not because like when Pokemon Go, when the revenue came in, the investors were really excited and they invested in it, and then they were like, "Well, we don't actually like, that's not our money technically."
What about HAL Labs then?
Or like, no, well, no, because they own Kirby. They own Kirby wholly. Nintendo does. So they like I would if like for example, if Sony was like, we'll have Insomniac work on Ratchet and Clank, but we don't own them, then I'd say it's still Sony's.
I feel like you're being. I feel like you're being mean to the stepchild right now. Is what I'm saying.
John would definitely treat the stepchild differently than everybody else.
Going
that's
up
for
in the attic and I'm locking the key.
Well, the kid would probably say stuff like, "You're not my real father," anyways.
Good. He's like, "You're not my real Nintendo."
Dude, I used to say that to my stepdad all the time.
You're not my dad.
my older brother is my half brother, and he used to tell both of us, his 2 younger brothers, he go, "Look, both you bitches are my half brothers. So I've got one real brother, and that's if I shove y'all together."
Oh my god.
So my mom got remarried, and the guy has 2 sons. Are those my half brothers now?
If you had them with your mom.
Actually, now I'm actually curious. What's Nintendo first party?
Brother.
What are their studios? They would have done Switch Sports,
Strikers,
because that was Next Level Games.
That's Next Level.
Kerbis.
What was the last like big? Because Xenoblade at least is out at the end of this month. I'm trying to think what like the last really big game that Nintendo EDP.
Splatoon's about to drop.
Splatoon 3 is coming.
Yeah, that's not out yet. I'm saying like. What was the last
3 is a small title. What are you talking about?
Their big attempt was Strikers. That kind of failed out. Right. So it would have been Sports before that, right?
Then Sports.
No, you're talking about not like a company not like Next Level. That's like outside of
Nintendo. That's owned by Nintendo. Yeah. Like because
they'll go
their
big game. Oh man, it's probably been because even Dread. It'd probably be Mario Party Superstars. That'd be like the last one that was like their
gearing up.
Their game. Yeah, Mario Party Superstars back in October of last year, because it was Dread, then it was Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and then they did like some distribution with the SMT, but that's still Sega. And then Pokemon, and then Kirby. Yeah, Triangle Strategy, they had some distribution, but that's still Square Enix. Then Strikers, Next Level, Fire Emblem Warriors is like legit. That's just like Koei Tecmo.
That's Koei Tecmo.
Stuff though.
True.
You know, it's their IP though. It's Fire Emblem IP, but Koei Tecmo literally did everything for that game, pretty much. So, yeah,
it sounds like they're getting ready.
Yeah,
getting ready to make some reviews.
Are you talking about a Switch? A Switch what?
No, not Switch Pro. I mean, like maybe a 3D Mario, maybe a Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong? What?
That'd be cool.
Pikmin 4.
Pikmin 4. That game's never coming out.
And it shouldn't.
That game's
I wish it would.
Oh man. I don't. We'll see, Sean. Because I mean, we could have some other stuff get revealed. No, maybe 2022 has a big turnaround for you, Sean.
And I mean, maybe it will. And that was kind of the point of the video, was talking.
Maybe it'll turn around. I want to ask Nate's opinion on Nintendo and
Nobody
Pokemon.
watched it.
Because I think he might have a similar opinion to me, because the Pokemon company is private. I'd be curious what his thought would be on that. He's not here though, so he can't defend himself. So I'll just say he agrees with me.
Mm-hmm.
Either way though, I think I'm hoping 2022 turns around a little bit, Sean. So
I mean, there's still a chance.
There's still a chance. Metroid Dread could cross 3 million, get announced, and then Balan Wonderworld can end up being your favorite game ever made.
This is just bait.
We're running out of time though. July, August, September.
Yeah, we kind of are.
I know
might have to call in the favor.
Don't worry, I'll call in the favor.
You might have to call in the favor.
I'll need them on video. I'll need 2 forms of government ID, some sort of clearance that they do indeed. No, because you could have any jackass be like, I work at, my uncle works at Nintendo, and they got no. I need proof that you work at Nintendo. If that's the route we're gonna go down.
It would be like an interview.
Well, like a pay stub. Is that what you want?
No, just like a employee ID badge or something like that. I think but then
I think it has to be a pay stub.
So if I'm there and I ask like them that like,
no, I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
If I'm
there, OJ,
have an interview.
Like, are they going to be
at Nintendo?
Like, if you're at Nintendo and you're recording someone and they're like, yes, this really did sell X amount of copies, then that's acceptable. But if I'm taking your word for it, no, just because I have trust issues.
Okay. Well, obviously, taking the word for obviously no. But I mean, like, you're being extremely petty with this, but I understand. Like, it's Balan Wonderworld. So I mean, I would be doing. Probably no. I actually have integrity, so I wouldn't be doing the same thing you're doing. But I see why you're doing what you're doing. I see why.
Someone should let Yuji Naka know that the game that he produced is legitimately in the middle of a bet because of how bad it is.
It's not good.
He probably knows by now.
Oh, he definitely knows. He's mentioned it. He's like, they pushed it out early, and the game's terrible. So
I'll tag him. I don't care. Show him a clip. Like, this is what's going down here in the West, buddy.
And we have a Discord question over there.
We have 2 that are kind of similar, so we'll try to tie them together. In honor of Klonoa releasing, what are your most underrated platformers you've ever played? And that kind of ties into someone asking for recommendations since he just finished playing all of Wolfenstein and wants to try some platformers to cleanse his palate.
That took a left turn.
I got done playing Madden. What's a good JRPG?
Basically, yeah.
Like good. Pandemonium.
Because
Pandemonium's
about
good.
Klonoa because it's.
Does it have to be like a 3? Can it be just like it can just be a 2D or is it 3D?
I'm guessing the main mechanic needs to be to climb on stuff and maybe use abilities to get around.
I am playing Klonoa right now, and it's actually all right.
I think New Super Lucky's Tale is very underrated.
I agree.
Oh, yeah? I've never played it.
It's a bit on the easy side for sure. There's end game stuff that ups the challenge, but it's very creative. It's a really solid 3D platformer.
What's the ukulele game? Not the first one, but the other one they did.
The second
Impossible Lair.
Yes, that one's pretty good too. I like
that. Is it Hat in Time?
Hat in Time is a big one.
That's good.
Solid. Yeah.
Yep.
If you haven't played it, honestly, the Crash Insane trilogy is still my favorite platformer ever.
Crash 4 is really fucking good.
It is. It's really hard though, and I do know that's a turn off.
But there's a lot of good there's a lot of checkpoints though.
And it's infinite lives. It's not like you get game overs.
Free on PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
I think that's a good roundabout list.
Okay, there you go. Got another one.
This one's kind of long, but go into it. After Infamous First Light development, Sucker Punch suffered 20% layoffs the same year it was launched, including Second Son. I also remember some comment back then saying that this was happening with companies who were trying to continue IPs, that they would lose a major portion of their people. Does this explain in general why companies and publishers are scared to go back on old IPs such as Infamous F-Zero and the canceled Days Gone 2? Or the canceled sequel for Days Gone 2?
Well, it's down to money. How much money is the project going to make? Is it going to be worth the time and effort to into it?
Yeah,
but that's all
there's
speculation,
always a risk, right? Like you don't really know. I mean, you can sit there and run numbers on what you think it's going to sell, number of units, but at the end of the day, there's always a risk in doing that, and it may not sell anywhere near as much as what was initially, I guess, anticipated in some instances. So it's a bit of a gamble sometimes, especially if the budgets are tight as well. You may not make your money back, and that's just the reality of it sometimes.
I mean, it's kind of a thing where it's like, if you're a company, any company, and you're looking at a game that you released a decade plus ago versus and just remastering that or sort of pseudo remaking that versus reviving an IP that you haven't done in 20 plus years from the ground up, like which is going to cost less, which is going to be easier to do, and which is probably going to make us more money because more people are into it because it's a newer thing, it's fresher in people's minds. It's just the business aspect of things.
It definitely seems like sometimes companies are so quick to cut costs by cutting team members. Did y'all see that report? I think it came out this week or last week that they admitted that part of the reason they're having trouble making new content on 343 on Halo Infinite is that a lot of the people have been moved to other parts of Microsoft. So they made the game and moved them. So now new people are having to learn how the game works to make stuff.
Yeesh.
So it's like, what the hell? Totally new people are now working on Halo Infinite, basically. So that's great.
I think this question's coming off of everything that happened with Sucker Punch, where they said they're not going to work on a new Infamous or a Sly Cooper or anything.
Oh yeah.
So I don't even think they're doing another Ghost of Tsushima. I think they're just doing a brand new IP. So
you got to go where the money is.
A new game. I mean, that's the thing I'll give them credit for. I mean, with Sony, they do attempt a lot of new IPs consistently. So yeah, Sucker Punch came up with Ghost of Tsushima. Let's see what they have next.
But Sony, it's calculated though, because the style of game that they make, it's never anything that isn't too far from what you would expect them to make. You know what I'm saying? Like they took Assassin's Creed and said, yeah, Assassin's Creed is kind of ass. Let's make a really good version of that. And that's what they did with Ghost. They built that over, and it's the best Assassin's Creed style game that I've played in, like that type of style. So Sony's really good at taking certain styles and then just saying like, okay, we can do that better. You know, and then making a new, like basing a new game off of it, or even like God of War, you know, like making a completely different style of game, you know, but with the same IP, but it's different from how it was before. So Sony's good at that.
Or like Bloodborne, they're like, hey, give us a share of that Dark Souls, baby.
Yeah. You got another one, Evan?
Let's see. This one's, I guess, specific. We'll just do it for everyone. Of which handheld do you have the most variants, and do you alternate them when you play those retro cartridges?
I have like
Game Boy Color. I feel like
I have like
Game Boy Colors.
I have like 20 Game Boy Advance. Literally all around me, I have not only Game Boy Advance, but Game Boy Advance parts. I have
You just have different games in them, and then you just pick them up and turn them on as you go.
I do. Yeah. Here's the Game Boy Color I customized this week. So it looks like a little Pokemon shell because I'm playing a lot of Pokemon right now. So sometimes I'll put different Pokemons in them, and yeah. But I have tons. I'm playing Game Boy all day, every day now.
I don't really have
2DS and 3DS.
Yeah, like I have things like that, and like a Game Boy, the Game Boy Pocket, you know, stuff like that.
Does the Switch count? I got too many of those.
Yeah, right. I mean, technically it should.
I think I'm still sticking with the Game Boy Color, just because I bought and built so many of those out for different videos. I just have them. But I guess I just use the Analog Pocket more now than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love that thing.
Yeah, I mean it is cool to have a Game Boy Color now and then and check out like Pokemon Red or something. But like the Analog Pocket's just so easy to have with that EverDrive in it, just to have all the backups on it.
Well, and sleep mode. I love the fact that you can put it in sleep. That's so cool.
Yep. That's the way to go. I would say. Let's talk about this Switch OLED, the new one that got announced.
Beautiful.
It was an interesting week with that. I saw Sean get real close to the camera in a thumbnail.
I did a good video reading everybody mad about it. Everyone being like, so I saw a comment. So it was like, Splatoon has ruined modern Nintendo.
What?
I know.
Splatoon hasn't even been around long enough to do that in the first place.
People were mad. People were mad because it was a Splatoon OLED. Something about that made people mad. I'm happy, but yeah, that specifically seemed to tick off about 1% of the internet.
I just think it's funny because it looks like there's a massive jizz stain on it.
Oh yeah, what's that look like, buddy?
On the dock?
You probably should go to the doctor.
Look. Okay, look at the dock of the system.
A neon yellows. A neon yellow.
It's the
splat.
Look, man, I don't splat like that.
I don't know who splat. Like really? And you said jizz. So
sounds like RGT can climb his walls like Spider-Man. What are we?
I can definitely feel.
At this point, a raindrop could fall from the sky onto the sidewalk, splash on the sidewalk, and RGT would be like, jizz.
Look at that cum, guys.
Yeah, it's.
I guess. I guess, Sean. I mean, maybe
we have
maybe.
a Splatoon.
I'm excited for the new Jizz OLED. It's going to be a really big.
Jizz OLED,
Switch OLED, the dock, everything. August 26th. It's $10 more, probably just for the paint job on the Joy-Cons, which is the Joy-Cons.
Jizz job.
probably the most interesting part about this to me.
All right,
Yeah,
so
I like
you've
the
linked it in
gradient
chat, Sean. Is
design.
that yellow splatter what you think looks like?
Yes, it's
That's
all
an
white
infection.
and there's like a big
So,
goop
I don't
on
mean
there.
to get personal, but if that's what it looks like for you,
Yeah.
go see a doctor because you might have something.
I think it's supposed to be like a paint.
That's radioactive.
I'm pretty sure that could be.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally paint.
This past week, and I
Yellow that
was
could be
saving
seen from
up, bro,
space.
and mine it didn't look like that, and I was saving up. So
Dang, any
Yeah,
girls,
Sean.
3 girls who are listening to this podcast
damn.
right now,
This
don't
used to be a
talk to Sean.
podcast about
Horny on main
gaming.
over here.
I like the Joy-Cons look good though. I like the gradient design. I hope they do
Yeah.
that for other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
I
just jinxed
like
it,
the
John.
doc.
They're not.
Yeah, I know.
Thanks a lot.
They should
Thanks
do a
man.
lot. They should do Joy-Cons consistently for their releases. I don't know why they don't.
I
Just, like,
agree.
celebrate the releases that come out.
I mean,
Damn,
that's
Xenoblade
part
Joy-Con.
of like the whole marketing success of the Switch is the customization and the fact that it's like your little baby. It's like a phone case. You know, people
Yeah.
love to change
That
things
you
about
can't
them.
change
so.
the backgrounds on. Let's go.
Yeah, but I mean, to them, like,
needs that?
I don't even know what the reasoning is
I
behind
wanna
that. That
change
just
my
pisses me off at this point.
You can do that on the
Folders?
3DS.
Who needs
I'd say I like the new colors are cool. I think I actually kind of like the fact that the dock just has that little subtle, the little like etching
nut shot?
design of it. Looks
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
No, not
on
the,
the back,
not-
on the back of the OLED.
yeah, not the Sean come, but the actual like no on the dock, the white part having the cool little like Splatoon
etchings
etching
and
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool.
It looks like they did a lot to this Switch for the Splatoon 3 theming. They have a Pro controller too. That's coming out. That's actually the same day. This one's coming out what 2 weeks before, 2.5 weeks before.
Don't need another OLED, man. But
August 26th. I'm
26th,
I say
yeah.
that I don't need it, and then I'm going to get it. That's the thing. So I say nope,
would-
and then I get it.
I would probably get the Joy-Cons just because they're so interesting looking, but I think you'd have to order them out of Japan. And
You guys are gonna hate me, but there's nothing about this design that appeals to me. I don't like it at all.
Is it too much noise? Like
I'm
too much
noisy.
visual noise?
It's too noisy.
I'm with you,
Splatoon, that's
MVG.
literally
That's the-
Splatoon in a nutshell.
yeah, that's the thing.
though.
It
I
fits
get
the
it,
game,
but they could have
though,
done a better. I think they could have done something better than this.
I love Splatoon. I'm not buying this. I'll be on full disclosure. No way in hell am I buying this, but I love Splatoon, so I dig it.
Pro controller, you get the Pro controller.
Oh yeah, I am thinking about getting that, but I wish I had more to it. The Pro controller actually looks kind of subdued.
It's much like the Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Instead of
kinda
the
is,
pink
isn't
and
it?
green,
Yeah,
it's the yellow
true.
and
The grips are
The
different.
yellow and blue.
Yeah.
Also, every Pro controller I've ever had is broken. All of them. They all last about 2
You really
months. I
get
don't
it?
know why.
You can get blue and yellow grips off of Amazon too. You can make your own Splatoon controller there.
you could.
If I buy it,
It's
it's just
not
going to
allowed,
be
so I
to
can
open
see
it
what-
up and make money on a video.
I
can see what MVG's saying though. It's kind of loud. It's kind of loud. Like I like the loudness of it, but I can see why somebody
might need to. I don't know. Might need to. Actually, no, Sean. You should buy this because when you buy it and pick it up 2 weeks later, they'll announce the Pro.
True. You got to get real close to
You
camera.
go
Like,
ahead,
I was wrong.
No, because I can't be
Again?
wrong.
I'm like I said, the Joy-Cons are the thing. I kind of want to see that in person, just see how the gradient looks, because I'd like to see them do that more. But this was the thing that led up to this was really funny. Is Nintendo was pulling videos down from their YouTube channel. This is a whole thing to where people thought some kind of system was going to be announced that wasn't not the Switch OLED, and it got kind of out of hand there for a little while. Like I said, there were videos popping up everywhere.
What a
Because of videos being privated. That's why we.
Nintendo was privating a Switch Lite and then their Switch OLED one, and it appears that they did at least private it to make room for the Splatoon one. At least that's the correlation people are drawing now. But before that, it was leading up to people thinking that a Pro was getting announced or some sort of meaningful hardware upgrade. Not here's Splatoon 3, and that did not happen. But it's interesting because I do notice this a lot. Whenever anything little happens, the immediate jump is to the Switch Pro now. I don't know if it's because it's been a little while since release of this system. I mean, we're going on 6 years next March. So maybe that's what it is.
I made a video about it this week saying that I don't think the Switch Pro is ever coming out. I think they're working on a Switch 2. I just think that now that I've been playing on a new 3DS XL and I like it, but there's only didn't they release 3 games for the new 3DS XL? I kind of think they're just going to make a Switch 2.
Yes, but games ran better
Yeah, I know. Oh, definitely. Yeah, but I feel like small performance, how much are people going to pay for that? Whereas if you like, here's the Switch 2, it's better, and also we're still going to start making games.
I mean, you got everyone freaking out about the Switch OLED that just has a different skin on it.
I don't.
Those are weirdos.
I kind of don't think I don't think a Switch 2 is coming anytime soon.
What? What do
you mean by anytime soon?
I think they would treat.
What do you mean by coming?
Enhanced model as a tool.
I think we're trying to line this up with Nintendo's old generations, and I kind of feel like we might get to the end of this and look back and realize we were in like an 8 to 10 year generation this whole time.
On this same exact hardware with
no, I don't think it's gonna be the same hardware. I think we'll move, but the reason I looked back on Nintendo's history a bit, the reason I don't think we're gonna make a generational break is because every time Nintendo does it, they have some new concept. I almost don't think they want a new concept right now.
Well, I 1,000,000% I agree with that, but I still think that they have to be bumping into hardware limitations. Like,
I think they're gonna phase in new hardware and phase out old hardware, like kind of like how the new 3DS or 3DS, new 3DS, you couldn't buy 3DSs anymore in stores, and
John, that might be true. The only thing that I'm thinking is like, okay, well, wait a minute, what about their development studios? Because they've already stated in their investors meeting, which you've seen, like, yeah, we've got our accounts. It's going to be for our next system in 20. It was like Mega Man or something. It was like 20X.
Yeah, they didn't want to give them an exact day.
They're already working on it, and it seems like they invested $1 billion into first-party games, and everything that they've been showing off so far has all been stuff we've known about or was announced, and we know like rumors have been talking about it, like Xenoblade 3, for example. And it seems like the rest of the year, like, I mean, Bayonetta's coming, Splatoon 3, we knew they were probably working on that, right? After Splatoon 2 blew up in sales. So it seems like they're just going to gear up and maybe launch something within the next, I would say, like 2023, end of 2023 or 2024. I would probably say 2024. That's what I'm thinking. 2024, they'll probably just kind of release something new. That's still, I guess, technically 2 years from this point. So I guess, is that close? That's what I'm saying. Is that soon to you, like 2 years from now?
I kind of wonder if the next big break for them is like 2025, 2026.
Ooh. Oh, wait.
What's crazy is I almost wonder what they would do then. Like, what would their big concept be? Going from one screen to two screens, going from 2D to 3D for their handheld, going to the dual screen setup for the Wii U, going to the hybrid for the Switch. What's the next step from the Switch?
Actually achieving constant 60 frames a second.
Right.
I mean, they do that with like Mario Odyssey and stuff, but like, what's their next concept with hardware?
I know I'm going to sound like an absolute lunatic, but now that I've been playing so much Game Boy Advance and playing Golden Sun, and I'm playing all the Pokemon I've missed, like Emerald and stuff, I think that honestly the next console may just have more power. And I know I'm crazy for thinking that, but I think it's just going to be
Nintendo to Super Nintendo kind of.
Yes, exactly. I think Switch 2 is just going to be, let's have better graphics, but still find a way to make it a handheld. Like, let's make it.
All I want to mention is I start bringing this up, and all of a sudden the Switch developer's gone. Oh, he's back.
No, I think you're 100% correct. I don't think Nintendo needs a new system. I think all of us like the concept, they like the execution. It's just that it needs more, and it needs a boost. It needs some sort of artificial upscaling, like Nintendo has been working on patents for, or DLSS or AMD Fidelity FX. Like, it needs something like that. And if they do something like that, they could ride this system out for until whenever, until they decide they have a new concept.
That would be my one thought, is they're trying to figure out what their next concept would be for this, and I'm sure they've probably had some experiments in R&D with it. But that's an interesting question. Would you rather Nintendo iterate on this current idea with the hybrid model, or trust them to roll the dice and break away from this sooner rather than later with a new concept?
No, stick with the hybrid. It makes you unique. It makes you stand out.
Go
I
ahead.
agree. No, I was going to agree. I mean, I think Nintendo knows what the right play is, and I feel like to stick with what's making them money and making sales right now. Why would you move away from that? I think there's definitely a risk in doing that, and the longer that they can just iterate on the current, hardware model, I think is beneficial for them in the long run.
Well, I mean, the Switch is a must-own console. Like, talk to even hardcore PC gamers or dudes with the PlayStation 5. If you can afford a Switch, you probably own a Switch because it's the only way to game on the go. Without a Steam Deck.
Well,
I want a Steam Deck. I'm never getting a Steam Deck. It's too expensive.
I would think in the past, that's not. I mean, if you get the
Same as an OLED, man.
But in the past, I think Nintendo would have definitely maybe tried something kind of crazy, but just not with the people that they have. I mean, they've been kind of playing things pretty by the book for this whole gen. And
yes,
I mean, after the Wii U, can you blame them?
No, I don't blame them. And like the president now, dude doesn't even talk. Like he doesn't even talk. He's just very business oriented. Like when they went to what was it, the one guy that they had, the stopgap president, and then they went to this new one that they have, Furukawa, right now. Like they're not eccentric. They're kind of just, one of them worked in a bank. The dude before worked in a bank for like a million years. So it's like, I don't see them doing anything crazy. I just see them probably like adding like, DLSS. I see them adding probably some more like functionality, like weird Nintendo functionality to like something that's in like the system itself, like some type of weird like Miiverse or something like that. They're gonna add to it to try to make it get some type of gimmick, new gimmick that way to try to make it seem different. But it's like the same base, system, and like just add power to it, do whatever NVIDIA's doing new, and then make some type of like Miiverse 2 or some type of Switchverse or some type of weird.
I would like to see something a bit more community driven that's creative in Nintendo.
Exactly.
I would like to see that.
Yeah,
that's definitely hit or miss. And we know a lot of people don't give a crap about the community stuff. I know here a lot of people would crap on it. But the other thing I will say is I just feel like at this point, it's almost like the case, kind of like what we were talking about on the Nintendo podcast, John, with Pokemon, is just it's making money. It's still working for them. They could just do the bare minimum kind of thing. And if collectors, like a lot of people years ago, granted, were wanting a ton of collector's editions. And now people are like, we don't want collector's edition. We want Switch Pro. I mean, I feel like they're just gonna be like, well, you're getting collector's editions now.
Yeah, I think you just build on what works and you extend the generation through iterations. You phase stuff out, you phase stuff in. Because I would rather not Nintendo try to Nintendo this up. Just stick with it. It works.
Working on like the games too. Like I think that that was one of the big reasons they talked about it quite a bit, was having a flow of new games that really pushed at launch. So what you don't want to do is launch it like the 3DS, launch it like the Wii U, launch it like those systems, even the Wii, and just launch it with like maybe one good game at the beginning.
They gotta put it next to something good like Breath of the Wild 2. That's coming out first half of next year, right?
We think it is.
In a minute.
Allegedly.
You got to have some more stuff. You got to have like, because the Switch had a nice rollout of games. It had Mario Kart the next month, and then it had Splatoon.
If only there was a big Metroid game that maybe Retro Studios could use to show off this new Switch. I wonder if there's is there a fourth one?
You are single-handedly.
You think that's next year?
Are you willing this into the universe, John, or do you know something?
Now he's future clickbaiting. He's basically making people to create rumors so he can report on the rumors.
Watch that Nintendo podcast and then come back.
I was talking to Nate before the show.
Yeah.
Go watch that Nintendo podcast.
Who's this square dude in the chat? Who is this guy?
It's funny. I think if you want to do hardware now, you put it next to Breath of the Wild 2 and call it a day.
I mean, that'd be a way to do it. It worked the first time.
That's how I do it.
It worked the first time.
Reenact the whole Switch launch in March again. Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. If you do, save it for the anniversary.
Yep, fit it right into the fiscal year. Launch hardware, launch software. Everyone's happy. There you go. Unless it's a Breath of the Wild 2 OLED, then everyone will be mad.
No,
could be.
I would not be mad.
I get it.
I would
as long as it doesn't look like the Splatoon collector's edition.
You just bought the Splatoon one.
I'm waiting for a Pokemon one.
Selling another OLED?
MVG is like the adult, like I want like a clean, sleek, modern one.
Yeah.
Splatoon is like noisy and messy and chaotic, and
the white OLED was like sexy as hell. So let's get something like that. The white OLED. I love that thing.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's modern. Same. I mean, if they came out with a Splatoon like OLED like that, the Splatoon community would be like,
they'll just put a Triforce on it and call it a day, and everyone will be happy.
They're gonna make red Joy-Cons again, like the Nintendo one or the Mario one.
Gold Joy-Cons, right?
Gold. That's what I'm saying.
It'll work.
That seems easy, right?
Remember the golden N64 for GoldenEye? That was cool.
Or it's a Sheikah Slate. Yeah. Make it a Sheikah Slate.
Oh, Sean, does GoldenEye this year turn 2022 around for you?
No.
Oh, all right, never mind.
What about Stray?
Cancel it.
Stray. I know you love
sure
Cat.
Sean's real excited about Stray.
I mentioned it in the video that nobody watched.
I'm never gonna click your videos.
That's fine.
the video?
All I know is if anyone's out there at a factory seeing the shell, just go ahead and take a picture, drop it on the drop it online. Go ahead and leak that Switch.
Well, there might be
Pro
some
out.
dev kits out there.
I
saw
saw that on the
Didn't you listen
Nintendo
to
Prime
Nate's
video
podcast?
once.
Didn't you listen to Nate's podcast?
I don't have to. I got MVG here.
That's true.
Dude,
MVG is
I
Hold on. I like how Sean's like, you guys didn't watch my video, but literally anybody else, did you see my video? I don't watch that shit.
I don't, but I'm honest about it.
But you're on the treadmill for like an hour. Just go ahead and throw Nate's podcast on YouTube.
I watched your Carvana video, Sean. That was cool.
Yeah, see? Second channel.
He doesn't watch your stuff, MVG. How do you feel about that?
No,
I
sometimes
don't
I'll
give a
watch
shit.
I don't
MVG
care.
stuff because
I
it's
binge
not
MVG
about
stuff.
that I'm
Honestly,
learning
I-
about usually.
Honestly, I'd be surprised if anyone like here watches my stuff.
I do. I've watched everyone.
Stuff.
I fall asleep to
I
your
don't-
videos, MVG. It's
Oh,
the
that's
I've
messed
heard
up.
that. I've heard
I
that.
watch all your stuff MVG religiously, and I don't know what the hell it is. Like when you talk about assembly code and stuff, I have no idea what any of that means, but I watch all of it.
Like I don't like
I'll
to watch
teach you.
video game content most of the time because it's like
Yeah,
you
I'm
know,
the same. I kind of watch other things
I watch
rather than.
like, shit on cars and stuff like that. Like that's way more.
I watch
interesting
true
to me.
crime. I watch true
I just
crime
like video game
documentaries.
stuff.
I feel like it could subconsciously influence you.
Yep.
I did watch the Nintendo podcast with Click and John on it yesterday though.
where we look like children.
Yeah, you're on that like big brown couch. That was
Yeah.
cool.
That was fun.
That was a good time. Too many games was fun. You gotta come out next time, MVG. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, next year I'm not moving, so I will be there. How
Yeah,
about
we'll
that?
have fun.
You say that now.
Yeah,
I know, right?
That means Sean has to drive past the gas station.
I'll pick up Sean on the way.
He'll just touch down the plane like in his yard. You gotta jump in. Yeah. You need to get out next year too, Sean.
OJ scared the hell out of me.
No
Can I tell it? OJ and I were rooming at too many games, so when I got there, they didn't tell me, so I didn't know. So I go into my room and I'm dead tired. I'm setting stuff down, and OJ was hidden around the corner in the room against the wall. So I walked in, and he's like, "Hey, Max!" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, you son of a!"
Evan, we got some Discord questions. We'll also go to super chats after that.
I guess to continue off of this, worth buying a Switch Lite in 2022 as a secondary Switch, or wait for an upgraded console?
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, the Switch Lite isn't gonna. You can't switch with it, so I don't know if they're gonna play around with that concept much more. I think the Switch Lite is just gonna exist as it is now.
It's a cool console, but I think just the screen size and like the readability of the font sometimes really just hurts it in
I would
many
say
ways.
just save a little more. Get the OLED then. If you're trying to pick between them.
I'm definitely gonna piggyback on that because traveling so much this past like 2.5 weeks. I had Monster Hunter, like my OG account, on my OG Switch. So I brought both. I brought my OG Switch and my OLED. Even just the OG Switch, like I haven't played handheld on that in so long. I forgot how nice the OLED is in comparison.
It is. It's very nice.
And the Switch Lite is going to be really good, honestly, for people who are only traveling, they never dock it, or maybe you have kids and you don't necessarily have a need for a dock. Right. But if you're someone that really wants that handheld experience to make all the difference, the OLED is so nice. And I never thought I would say that because I wasn't going to get an OLED. And then I got my hands on one, and now it was hard for me to like just go back and play on the OG.
Have you guys played Kirby on the OLED? It looks
dude, it's ridiculous.
Incredible thing ever. It looks like a next gen game.
No, you got to play. You got to play Luigi's Mansion 3 on the OLED.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 and
crazy.
Kirby. Those two games just look incredible on the OLED. There's a level in Kirby where you're like using like a light bulb. You know, you're like that level like where you're doing like light bulb stuff. And it looks nuts on the OLED on there. So, I mean, yeah, some games just pop, you know?
Yeah, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
I still, dude, Metroid, about halfway through Metroid, when you start having all the gadgets and stuff, the OLED really, because you're going through light and dark, and there's all the stuff in the background that's moving around and stuff. It's insane.
Evan, you want to do another Discord question there?
Let's go with, what do you think will be the outcome of Linus Tech Tips versus Nintendo?
I think Nintendo does nothing.
He's fighting Nintendo
on the edge of my seat.
He put an emulator for Switch on the.
Wait, what? What do I miss? What I missed here?
He put an emulator for the Switch on the Steam Deck, showed people how to do it, and
did he put first-party Nintendo games in the video?
I think he showed it. Yeah.
Then he's probably going to get the video removed.
Yeah, he asked to remove it.
Whenever Nintendo deems to do so. It could be up for a year and then all of a sudden just make it.
Here's the interesting thing. They said Nintendo should take it down, and they seem perfectly fine going to court about it. Which I don't know how that.
I don't know why you.
But they
I don't know why you
do it.
So. I mean, I get it. I don't know why you're poking the bear though. Honestly,
they seem to mention smaller channels getting hit up pretty bad by Nintendo, and they're a pretty big company, so they don't seem to have a problem fighting Nintendo.
So I mean, I can talk to this because I got 4 of my videos taken down, but like 3 of them were up for like 18 months before they just decided. So this is not something that they'll just do like right now. They could literally wait another year and a half, 2 years, and then all of a sudden just take them down.
That might be a case where Nintendo doesn't want to do it, because if they do go to court and Nintendo loses in court over it, then that would actually be really bad for them.
Oh wow, yeah, I never thought about that. Everybody will be emulating everything.
Apparently, they specifically blurred the video of the first party games on the screen.
Then Nintendo won't care. They won't take it down. Like, they won't care. It's the only thing they care about is first party content on those videos. I know firsthand. Trust me. Like, if they blurt it out, they'll be fine.
They should just leave it alone. But I mean, I don't really care about the outcome, whatever they want to do. But
I would care. I definitely care.
Linus was like trying to poke the bear, but it was like with a 30-foot pole kind of thing. Like, dare you.
He blurred out the stuff. You know, like
it sounds like he talked to a lawyer beforehand and said, "What can I get away with?" And the lawyer said, "You can get away with first party, but you have to blur it out." And they won't care in that scenario.
Yeah, that's funny.
I definitely care actually if it happens. Yeah, I want to see what happens. What goes down in the courtrum then. That could affect everyone.
He get my videos should have blurted out if he really wanted to test it that way.
If you really want to poke the bear, do it the right way. Linus.
Learn it. Stop sitting there and saying hiding and shit. You know, like show it. You know, just show it. It's no big deal, right? Just then show it.
I'll be curious. I need to go back and look at that video to see what so they showed step by step how to do it and how to put your Switch games on it. I'll be curious, because that video has like 1.5 million views already on it, so it's not like a small thing. We'll see what happens. Like MVG said, sometimes it can take up to a year or so for anything to even like take place. So
what the fuck is Float playing?
Apparently that's Linus's streaming service or whatever, so you can watch his videos there. So it's apparently unblurred there on his own thing, but
hardcore and uncensored.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm about to make a Splatoon controller.
Let me go to some super chat. Sean says, "What happens first? A Switch Pro or RGT finding true love?"
Switch Pro.
Switch Pro. Next gen Switch.
I'll play immediately. Switch Pro.
For sure. Like a girl will like look in a different direction. I'll just be like, "Oh no! Oh get out!"
Does it work?
It's hard.
Out. Next. Tinder.
Defeated.
Drive him in the Pinto. Get somebody else. Nope. This girl looked at me weird.
Wait, who asked the question? What's the username?
The Fallen asked the question.
Fallen, have you found your true love yet? I bet not, bud.
Damn.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was Sean. Sean asked that question, not the Fallen. The Fallen was collateral damage, actually. Because
I'm sorry, Fallen. I'm sorry.
Ever thought of some video game background music during the show? Question mark.
Do you play that jingle at the start?
It is a show at the start.
I don't hear it, but yeah,
you kind of just have like normal, like just like nothing going on in the background for podcasts.
Actually, because we hear a lot from viewers that they'll listen to us while playing a game, which typically has its own music. So I think we're just supposed to be nice background noise.
We are nice. That's true. Defeated says, "I'm happy with this new gen of gaming consoles."
Same.
Dr. Wolf said RGT just said 2022 is the worst year in gaming.
I did not.
This is Matthew says, "My burnt copies of Panzer Dragoon Saga on Saturn won't work. Help."
Get one of those. What are those things? The SD card things?
Oh,
I can't remember what they're called. I have one in mine. They're really good.
It's like, is that like the Fenrir or something?
There's like 3 of them. There's the Fenrir. I
want to get one.
I don't know. There's 2 others.
They're always on back order though.
Yeah, I need to do an installation of the X Station on my PS1, but I definitely want one for the Saturn. That would be awesome to have that. This is unfortunately I don't have any real knowledge of burning copies of games on the Saturn. I don't really have a lot of knowledge of the Sega Saturn in general, unfortunately.
Satiator. That's what
That's the one.
Oh, okay.
Someone in the chat said it.
Shoka says, movie recommendation for Jordan, since he's a movie buff like me. Come and See Me, 1985. That's the year.
That's a Soviet Union film about a World War II thing. I haven't seen it. I've heard good things about it.
Okay.
I see. Don't subscribe to Game Pass is chimed in.
MVG in his trash studio released a busted remaster.
Thanks, buddy. Love you.
What is he referring to?
Jeez.
He's talking about Blade Runner.
Oh yeah, what's up with that?
Oh,
I bought it because everyone said it was like a big influential game. I've been playing it on the Switch, and first off, I'm already stuck. Second off, I don't tell you how like anything works in the game. They just like throw you in there.
I mean, it's a point-and-click adventure game from like 1997, dude.
I'm not. You should have had the ability to turn off the high-res characters. I think it makes it look stupid.
Jeffrey says first 12 months, Xenoblade 3 over under 2 million units sold. I'm going over.
Come on,
over.
It's gonna do 300 million easy.
I'm going over 2 million in the first year. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Uncharted started RE1 remake recently, and I suck at the game. Any tips to help out? Running zombies and dogs keep killing me.
Save often and figure out where you can skip killing stuff. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make early on in Resident Evil is thinking you have to kill everything, especially in RE1 remake. Some of the zombies come back as Crimson Heads, and you don't want to deal with a Crimson Head.
Yeah, burn the bodies.
Yeah.
Base says
in real life.
Peppa Pig will increase Game Pass subscribers 99%. I think I'm too old for that name.
Kids will play that shit.
Do kids have Xbox?
You don't need an Xbox. I'm playing Far Cry 5 via xCloud right now, and I've been playing it the whole time.
DJ, you're gonna
on your PC?
Yeah, I'm playing via the cloud on my PC.
Wait, hold on. Why don't you just play it on your PC?
Because I had to buy it. It's on Game Pass.
Yes.
Game Pass has xCloud.
Do you have the Game Pass app on your PC?
I downloaded it and it said that the game wasn't in there. It said Far Cry 5 wasn't in there. Far Cry 5 does not suck. I love cults.
Far Cry 5 is great.
P. Jones says, best and only important news of the week was Psychonauts 2 getting a physical release. Love playing it on Game Pass. Can't wait to pick up a copy.
Yes.
Yep.
That was
I've
nice.
been waiting on that.
Yep.
I've been waiting on it because you guys were all like, "Oh, play it." I'm like,
Great
"Where's
game.
the physical?" And you guys were like, "There is none." I was like,
Get it on Game. I just
always
get it on Game Pass. I just downloaded Game Pass, and I was like, eventually someone will do it because limited run. Someone will come in and do it.
Get me that baby. That type of game is like, I want a physical of that game, like a game of the year type of game. Like that's a game that you pick up physical. That's not a game. That's not a game. That's not like a download game.
So I already beat the game, and now I'm gonna own it physically, and I'll just have it. I'll just have it over there sealed,
like Shredder's Revenge.
I don't have to open it to play it.
Get my game, open it up, and apparently, I'm hearing something about that. The Xbox Series X version is actually on the disc. I thought I heard something about that.
Wow.
Check the what does the cover say? Does it say smart delivery? If it does, then it's not. If it doesn't, then it is.
I think it says both. It says Xbox One and Xbox Series.
No, it's probably not then.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard some people talking about it in my thread on Twitter, but I didn't know. I didn't really check into it. But anyway, then PS4 version. Then if that's the case.
Let's see. Serial says, how many games do y'all typically beat in a year? I was called a fake gamer because I typically only beat 8 to 14 games a year.
I beat Elden Ring. I've beaten Elden Ring. That's the only game I've beaten this year.
Wow, you're a fake gamer, MVG.
No, MVG Turtles with us. We did it.
Oh yeah, I did. Okay, so I've beaten 2 games this year.
Now you're a liar
Turtles
too.
is like an hour and a half.
Well, he's already a liar because of Banjo, but
right now, July. I think I've beaten 11 or 12 games so far.
I don't know who's telling you 8 to 14 is like a rookie number, but I mean,
for a lot of people, that's extremely like people who are, have like going to a 40-hour week job. That's pretty good.
Never listen to anybody that's sitting there trying to judge you about video games about how much you beat. They probably have no life or probably live with their parents or their mom in a basement. Trust me, because 8 to 14, that's a lot of games.
Yeah,
like, why you sit there telling me, you haven't beaten enough games? That sounds like freaking stupid. I slap the hell out of somebody if they come.
Why? How is that an
how many games I've beaten? Like, who cares?
I literally do Let's Plays for a living, and 8 to 14 is like a solid amount. That's probably like over half of what I do in a year.
I've calculated, on average, I beat about 50 games a year. I beat about one game a week. And I do multiple games at once. Like right now, I'll be beating main games for reviews while I'm playing through Pokemons and stuff. So I'm usually playing through games at once and finishing them all consecutively.
Can you really get into games though? At that point?
Honestly, to me, I get more into them. That's a question I get a lot. I get more into them because I have to write script notes. So like right now, because I'm currently working on a big video about
Oh no.
Hello.
Sony got him.
They got him.
Sony got him.
He has to go play the game.
Gamer.
He has to beat 50 games a year. He has to go play it. He's got no time for this.
God. Look at that. Yeah, I'm responding to questions that I need to be playing games apparently. What happened to my camera? But yes, I love gaming and it doesn't burn out. And now all of a sudden, there's my background. Yes.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to count them all out. I think it's 11 or 12 games I've beaten so far this year.
I just beat Mafia 2 again.
Nice. Yeah,
I wanted to play that, but I did.
Whatever happened
The remaster?
I want that.
Yeah,
Mafia
the definitive
remaster.
one.
That's a good one.
The Mafia remaster is great. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is also really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a remaster. I think they call it a remaster. That's basically it's very good though. It was if you haven't played it, Sean, it's absolutely worth picking up.
I've played Mafia 1 before. I never played Mafia 2. Well, maybe I did.
It is a full remake of Mafia 1. And honestly, now that Mafia 3 is fixed, Mafia 3 was really glitchy at launch. Now it's great.
I would have to go back.
I guess I gotta play it.
For how many games? It's something like that though. But for me, I'm good with that. If I end up finishing like 20 games this year, considering Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is going to be one of them, and that'll probably be 100 hours overall easily in that.
I mean, the game is it on PS5?
And one of the games I'm going to beat. I'm probably going to beat Star Ocean this year. I'm probably going to beat Xenoblade. I'll probably finish Triangle Strategy and also
Valkyrie.
Trails of Cold Steel 1, which I think, by the way, I'm wrong. I think that game's going to take me 70 to 80 hours to beat. I was very incorrect because one of the chapters is like 25 hours.
Star Ocean's going to take you a long time.
I'm like looking at this and I'm like, maybe I will get over 20, but it's going to be like some of these games are going to be like ridiculous in terms of hours.
Star Ocean is always like crazy long. Got like the newer stuff, like Star Ocean 4, Star Ocean 5. Like crazy.
Yeah,
but
I remember Star Ocean. Yeah, that's gonna
hopefully Star Ocean 6 is good. I'm hoping.
Max remind me of Valkyrie Elysium. That'll probably be a good chunk too.
Yeah. I'm excited.
That's why like a 15-20 hour game though, right? That might be like a shorter.
I think it's gonna be 25-30.
Okay, 25-30. Okay.
And plus, beating games. There's games where you just play with friends, online games, multiplayer games, MMOs. Like it's not just about how many games did you beat. You could put 500 hours into Halo and you're just playing the online. Did you beat the game?
I have a lot of
We would put tons of hours in Halo.
It doesn't matter about I beat this many games per year. Whatever you play, just enjoy it.
You're like 7. That's a flex. I feel like you're like, oh shit, I beat 30 games this year, and you're like 7 years old. That's a flex. If you're hit puberty and that's your flex, you're a fucking moron.
I saw a thing where it said the average hardcore gamer plays 10 games a year. So I feel like if you're beating 7 games a year, you're still way above average.
I won the Universal Championship in WWE 2K22, Sean. Does that count as beating it?
I would say yes.
Yeah, I defended it twice too.
I turned off Balin. Does that count as beating it?
Yes, technically yes.
Let's go.
No,
I'm trying to platinum trophy a bunch of games this year, so I already have like 5 platinums this year. That's taking up all my time.
Yeah, I got
watched the boys season finale. Did I beat the boys? Did I beat it?
You beat the boys.
Boys beat you.
That sounds terrible.
I keep so I'm playing through all the Pokemons, but I just played till I beat the Pokemon League or whatever I consider the last boss, and I'm not trying to catch them all. Am I beating it or am I not? Do I have to catch them all?
But you see credits, don't? I mean, that's most people.
Yeah,
do. You see credits, you're done. Basically, is what people say. Even though there's like you'll play games like Dragon Quest where it's like, all right, now the game starts. It's like, oh
yeah.
Let me go to this is from Dark Type saying Klonoa 1 and 2 remakes are game of the year. Don't at me. Also, Sonic Frontiers is going to be amazing.
I heard Klonoa 2 didn't run that great.
I am playing Klonoa 1 right now. It runs fine. I have been alerted that the second one is disappointing in terms of performance, and I will find out in approximately 4 hours because Klonoa 1 takes about 5 or 6 hours.
But the person who said it is kind of a known liar, so
I mean, I'll find out.
What, Digital Foundry? What are you talking about?
I was basing my information on what you said.
No, number 2 is a little choppy. Like I've got the original number 2, and there's something. It's a little choppy.
Is it choppy on PS5 as well?
Yep, everywhere. Choppy. So I mean, I think it's something they'll be able to patch.
It must be a hardware issue with the PS5 then. Must not be strong enough for it to run it then.
Maybe. Need that PS5 Pro.
Yeah, Mate says I thought I would hate Ghostwire, but it's kind of good, low key. Got some slight Control vibes. The cast is basically 2K viewer. Good job, guys. Thanks, Mate. Yeah, I like Ghostwire. I thought Ghostwire's atmosphere, its environment, all the stuff around it was interesting. I just think the game kind of devolved into a pretty basic gameplay loop that got kind of boring after a little. Like there was some fatigue setting in when it was like, now go find all 40,000 some odd spirits. And I'm like, I think I'm good. I saw this. I'm good.
It does forced map progression, and I think any game that's like, all right, do you want to do the next story quest? Okay, well, beat a section of the map first. It's always weird.
I hope they do another one in the series because I would like to see them build on it. So
man, Evil Within 3, man.
Yeah, just give Mikami Evil Within 3.
Yes,
this was supposed to be Evil Within 3. Apparently, is what the word was, right?
I'll be honest. I sat to the credits to that game are long as hell, and I sat there the whole time hoping at the end that like the Evil Within 3 guy would walk up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian Castellanos. Yeah.
I will say if you're really into like the culture there, Japanese culture, all that is a very interesting game to go through. So. This is from Knuckle saying, for Dreamcast guy, you mentioned your girlfriend is an artist. Does she have any social media to follow her work?
Yeah, I don't know if she wants me to shout it out. Yeah, she does big murals and paintings and stuff, and she does have stuff, but I don't know. I don't know if she wants me to blast it on a giant podcast. I'll ask her. Follow me on Twitter. I'll tweet some of her stuff sometime.
Glad they like the you like the fan art they did of you last year. Love this podcast. Amazing work, everyone. Paulie says dev cycles for first party games is unsustainable.
What?
Maybe.
What?
Games? Which first party games? From who?
Maybe.
It just says dev cycles in general.
I mean, he's not wrong, but he's not right.
I mean, there might be a breaking point at some point. It's someday if the budgets keep going up. Let's move over to Sony, as they did have an announcement for God of War Ragnarok. We got the release date, and it's not on a Friday, which surprised some people initially, and then it kind of made sense later on when they kind of had to explain it because some people started getting it and other people didn't. It's Odin's Day, right, Max?
Wednesday, yes, Wednesday.
Wednesday is Odin's Day, so they were like, let's be different and launch it on a Wednesday. It makes sense with the game. It's November 9th. 2 days before when Starfield would have been coming out. So we missed that kind of head-to-head matchup in a week. But November 9th, we had a whole bunch of collector's editions, all kinds of stuff to buy and check out, and it's Jeff Keighley's going to let him in the Game Awards because I heard that he obviously extended it. He clearly likes God of War more than anything.
And he hates Forza, apparently.
Twitter is weird.
Did you see that thread? That thread.
I did.
No.
Listen,
I made a whole video about it.
Jeff Keighley. I do like him though. Honestly, he's like literally like an inspiration for starting my own channel and stuff like that. Like when he was on G4TV.com. And I like him, but holy smokes, man! Like that trolling in that that was ridiculous. That's like harassment, like crazy harassment, man.
Well, people are. So I made a video called "Xbox Fanboys Hate God of War Ragnarok." Just reading because there was some crazy stuff, and half the video is just reading all the people calling Jeff Keighley a liar. Like, yeah, sure, Forza won some awards, God of War will be there, and they're like, "You're changing the rules for Sony."
No, last year it was November 19th was the cutoff. It was actually on the website. Like if you go and read it, there was reading involved, but it was there.
they were accusing him of like not allowing Forza, and he's like, "Dude, Forza wasn't." Like, "No, it wasn't." I was like, no,
and he's like, "Forza." He's like, "Forza won awards. I don't know what to tell you. Here's the awards Forza won." You know.
And they were like, "No, it didn't. No, it did. You liar." It's like, what is going on? Why are you guys pressing this man like that?
What's weird to me is Death Stranding, obviously, infamously, was part of the show. It was in the Game of the Year category, and it was everywhere for that. That came out November 8th, 2019. So like the cutoff's always been the same. It's been like right in that third week of November, essentially. And it also comes down to when these companies get the games out there for review. That's one of the reasons Jedi Fallen Order wasn't in there, is because they didn't get it out in time and no one had a chance to play through it and then say, hey, this is good, let's put it in there.
Well,
but
remember that.
My other thing is, it's very important. Who cares? Like, right? It's the Game Awards. Yeah. It's entertainment.
Well,
it's Hollywood. It's the Hollywood Reporter.
Hollywood,
right. Sorry.
Hollywood. That's when you read down who's doing the stuff. It is kind of funny. Go ahead, Max.
I was gonna say, remember when everybody was ticked off because the rules have always been the same. But remember, like 5 years ago when Smash Ultimate couldn't be included because it came out on December 5th or something, and the Game Awards was like December 15th, and people were like, "You're screwing over the best fighting game ever" or something.
It ended up in the next year. It ended up in there.
They put it in next year.
Yeah, next year. Yeah.
It was a Game of the Year contention. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. They put it in. It was 28. It came out 28. I think it was December 1st.
Is that the first time we've seen a fighting game in Game of the Year conference? Like, I think that was the first time, wasn't it?
I think was Dragon. I guess Dragon Ball Fighters. No. Tekken. No. Yeah. Soul Calibur. No. I don't think any of those were.
Jump Force. I mean, like in the Game of the
Yeah, game of the actual game of the year. Yeah, fighting games don't really.
I mean, people tune in for the reveals anyway. I mean, I know it's a big thing at the end, it's Game of the Year, but it's like most people don't even remember who won Game of the Year last year.
Red Dead win once, or did Red Dead get beaten out? I can't remember.
Red Dead lost to God of War last year. Won.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I always that's right. It's like,
well, Red Dead won like all the awards except for like one, and then God of War won Game of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And then Last of Us just won everything.
Last of Us just won everything. Yeah.
I think 1,000,000%. I think Elden Ring is going to sweep anyways. Anybody who's acting like God of War, maybe God of War will win, but I think Elden Ring is going to sweep.
God of War will win something.
I think God of War and Elden Ring, that is going to be an interesting matchup at the end. That's basically what everyone's like, this is it. Like, these two.
I think like for stuff like accessibility and stuff like that, God of War is probably going to beat Elden Ring.
It's going to be interesting. I'm curious about this game in general with God of War, because here's my concern about God of War. I wonder, do you think it'll run into the same thing that Horizon ran into, where somehow the game is better? It's a better game than Horizon Zero Dawn by far, but it scores lower than Horizon Zero Dawn.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit different. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of controversy around Horizon in general, but God of War, like, you have these characters that you really fall in love with. It's really, to be honest, the games couldn't be more different. Like, God of War's combat is fast, it's action, it's parry, dodging. Yes, that is in Elden Ring. I'm very well aware, but you have more story driven. It's much more like you're in a direction, and Elden Ring is very much more build your own. You have so many different options, but the world is your oyster. It's a little bit slower of combat. It's just, they couldn't be more different. The story is as you make it kind of thing. So I really think it's going to kind of come down to like hardcore FromSoft versus, people who have fallen in love with these characters in this story. And it really depends on, I think, how they continue the story and how they handle it, how they handle these characters.
That big payoff at the end, that might be enough.
Well, there's only one real problem with God of War. And it's the only problem we need to be talking about. All right. Mm-hmm. And it's this collector's edition. And as a collect whore myself, there's no excuse to pay all this money for a collector's edition and pull a Halo 5 and say, you know what? Here's a digital copy. You're paying all this extra money. A steelbook for no disc.
Yeah, mailing you no disc.
What's up with that?
What I get it. Maybe it's because of distribution. Maybe because it's in different like the parts are being put together in different areas.
No, it's called no excuse.
No, the idea was it screws over the digital only console users.
Because the digital PS5 is I don't know if they have actual numbers out there. It's almost half. Like they don't talk about it's
should have just put the disc in, looked them dead in the eyes, and said, "You chose this."
They don't want to develop these two collector's editions and have maybe a bunch of one, and the digital code serves all. Is how they're thinking.
That screws over, but it screws over the people with the physical version of the system so bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, it's also what their excuse. You know what they say? Buy another copy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
$70.
Right. I've heard them saying that it's just a matter of that. They don't know. Okay, they don't want to mail you a collector's edition with the wrong disc by chance or something if they send you the PS4 or the PS5 or some BS. But on the topic of review scores, I actually wanted to chime in on that, which is that I think this is going to have higher review scores than God of War 2018, which I know is a high bar. But the reason I think that is because they were talking in interviews that this is going to be the end of the Norse saga. We're going to fight like Thor and wrap this story up, and I feel like gamers enjoy a good ending much.
Do you think?
I disagree. I think it's going to be a little less, not much, maybe a point or two less than the current God of War. But I still think it's going to be an excellent game. I think it's really. You can't pull the same trick twice, right? Unless there's some really cool new mechanic. Unless you can toggle between Atreus and Kratos in the game.
I think you're going
which would be cool, right?
Yeah.
I just feel like it's just going to be a continuation of the the story, right? And we know how the game works, the engine and everything. So I think they need to really just show off something unique if it's going to be as good as far as review scores as the previous game.
Bit of sequelitis.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be like no? But here's the one thing, and I kind of agree with Max and also with MVG. But it could be like a God of War 2 situation where remember when God of War 2 came out? It was the same, but it was so much better. It was controls and the story and the gameplay, and they were just like, dude, this game, and it reviewed way better. Although God of War 1, I guess, maybe wasn't as good in terms of what people felt than the new God of War. Maybe the bar was a bit higher with the new God of War in terms of what people felt. But I mean, I don't exactly remember. I know at the time I thought God of War back then was like, this was like the greatest action game, that I've played, like, Western style action game. Whereas in the God of War 2018 game, people felt that it was like game of the year. It was like, maybe it was a bit above what the original God of War was. But I think it could be a God of War 2 situation where it's just so much better than the first one that they have to just review it higher. I mean, it could be that.
I really think it's going to have to feel complete. And again, I think it being the end of Norse mythology line really could set that of you feel to completion. So you feel satisfied, but you're like, there's still more. And I don't want to spoil anything for people who haven't played Horizon, because a lot of people said that they haven't played it, but it's in their backlog. I don't want to spoil it, but the one thing with Forbidden West for me is I loved how everything felt improved. It looked great. It felt way smoother.
It's just a better game.
But the story is very much a sequel. It's very much it's not going down. If anything, it's ramping it up, but it just felt very much like a placeholder for another game.
Next one.
And I was really disappointed with it. I was telling people, like, I enjoyed the game, but going through the credits, I was like, wow, like there was so much there I wanted I wanted so much more there at the end. Like, I don't know what, but something. And I feel like as long as God of War but I feel like as long as God of War, brings this Norse to the end, or throws those plot twists in, or maybe they're not plot twists anymore. You bring that, you sell it home. I mean, again, the game of the year debate always comes down to, is it simply for how many sales it brings, or is it for the impact? Is it what drives the game of the year for people? So I think it's going to be really interesting, because again, it couldn't be two more of opposite games in my opinion.
I mean, what they were teasing at the end of God of War 2018 could be a really powerful ending for Ragnarok. So.
Oh yeah, dude! If they do it, if they commit, ooh.
Yeah, I think it'd be big. So
I was kind of hoping, based off in the last God of War we just had, based on what they kind of teased about other future places, that would have been the next game, and that game would have been all of the Norse stuff. I think that would have been cooler to move on to the next part, and I think that's the reason I'm still excited. Maybe a little less excited, because it's like it's still more of the same. I'm excited for it, but it's visually it's in the same places, the same everything. I don't know. They just that we know of. Sure, it could end and or there's some big twist, but the stuff that they kind of hinted at or teased has me way more excited for a game that's probably not going to be here for a very long time.
Didn't they say at one point they're planning on like 5 different games?
Yeah.
So...
Well, and
quite a while away from now.
They were saying they wanted to fight like Ra, the sun god, and go to Egypt and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. That's the game I want right now.
That'd be fun to see.
Well, Jordan, you also have Sonic Frontiers coming up this year.
Oh, that's true. that is a big one. I'm very, you know me. I love Sonic.
You look press A to go fast. Zones that they showed actually looks kind of hype though.
That trailer that they showed at the Direct was fucking. That's what they should have done in the first place.
That's exactly what exactly.
All you had to do.
That's all you had to do.
But they're like, no, we're gonna have like 7 minutes where you just walk around in this big fucking grassy field for no reason with no indication of what you're gonna be doing. It's like,
fail at a puzzle. That was the weirdest part, is him doing the puzzle wrong multiple times. Why would you put that video out?
That's just Sega just messing up the marketing just a little bit.
I'm excited for God of War. It's immediately shot to the top of my most anticipated list for 2022. So I'm very happy it's making it this year. Seemed like it was kind of cutting it close. November 9th is it's right up against the cutoff. You think they wouldn't release it in December, so good to see they got it into the year. As you said, Max, they have Sony could wrap up a pretty good year overall for their first party studios. So good to see with that. We'll be talking, I'm sure, quite a bit about that when it releases in November, which actually November could end up stacking pretty well. I think we're going to have a couple of other good releases that are going to be announced here in a month or two that'll fall in as well. So I think that's going to be a month where we have multiple games per week coming out. So exciting stuff there. Exciting stuff. Evan, we have Discord questions over there.
What kept you motivated at the beginning of making videos on YouTube?
I don't know. I've thought about that. Because I had a slower growth than a lot of people here, but early on, I was working at a bookstore and I was very bored. So I used to go home and film a crappy video on my phone every day, and 20 people would watch it, and it was something to do, and it just kept growing. I guess I just did it out of boredom, and then it became money.
I think the motivation. I'm sorry. I feel like the motivation should really just be like to do it because you enjoy it. Because if you enter it thinking, oh, I'm going to make money or I'm going to make views, you're going to sorely be disappointed at whatever turn of events, however long it takes. Maybe you get lucky and you hit it quick and fast, but like the ultimate motivation has to be like, if no one else watched these videos ever, am I still pleased with what I did? Like, do I still feel like I like what I made? You can't. I feel like you can't go into it for the money's sake. And then you should be smart. Like if it does start making money, obviously be smart about it. Don't go into it with money in mind.
I agree with everything you said. And just to add to it, I mean, for me, it was never really a numbers game. And I'm not only. I mean, it wasn't initially, but eventually it became a numbers game. But like initially, it was like, hey, I have 100 subscribers. That's awesome. That's like a whole movie theater's worth of people that watch my videos. That's really, really cool. And then you get to 1,000. It's like, hey, that's like, a small, arena or a small venue that watch my videos. And I never really, it was just for fun. Like I just literally went around my house looking at like old hardware that I had. And I was like, I'm going to talk about this and just make some cool videos. And that's what it was. It was always about fun,
Mm-hmm.
I just watched cartoons.
Right. I remember when I hit 25,000 subscribers and I went to work and my boss was a real freaking dick to me that day. Just absolutely. He called me lazy and was acting like I was messing up at my station at the time. And I remember just smiling at him and being like, well, I have 25,000 subscribers on YouTube. Like, oh, man.
What up now, bitch?
Yeah, right. Well, what do you think about God of War Ragnarok?
Evan, you had another Discord question?
I guess just two really for you. They're wondering what your monitor setup is, since you're always kind of looking up when you're talking.
I have the MVG setup. Thank you. He came highly recommended from him.
My setup is back tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it.
One big widescreen in front of me, then I have a 4K monitor above it, so I can kind of look up at it if I need to. Usually, you can just have something set up here. So when you edit, you have like the big timeline, and everything down here, and you have files and stuff above it. And then I have like a MacBook over here in the stand. So I'm set up pretty nicely. Then I got my Halo and my Mario Striker station over here. Not Mario Strikers on the Switch. That's back on the shelf.
I was about to
the
ask.
real Mario Strikers, the GameCube one. Thank you. Wavebird's right here.
All right, and then last question is still for John. What's your favorite source of protein for a snack?
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Ooh.
Not the terrible peanut butter though.
Yeah, you got to get that
Like
raw, oily, weird peanut butter.
No. I make my own peanut butter. I don't do any of that.
See, look, that's
he
too
squishes the peanuts himself.
Nah, it's easy. It's easy.
I'm gonna give him a better one. I'm gonna give is it Oikos? The yogurts. Those are great source of protein.
Great
Fantastic.
yogurt's good too.
Well, let me tell you what my peanut butter is that goes on the
It's
sandwich.
peanut butter protein powder, probably that's been mixed with something.
Peanut butter protein powder, PB2. Then I have a little bit of sweetener, Greek yogurt, zero fat Greek yogurt, like that, like the stuff that tastes like sour cream, basically. And you mix it all up, turns into it's like strained. But you mix it up, turns into peanut butter, put it on some bread, some sugar-free jelly, and you're good. Ton of protein, low amount of calories. You're good to go. Yep, that's what I do. Works well. Evan, you got another one?
No, that was it. We are good.
All right.
Real quick for you to super chats. Honestly, it is 1,000,000 degrees in Texas. I'm melting. I'm gonna go jump in an ice shower. But I love y'all and I love chat.
Well, it's 100 degrees here where I live too.
Yeah, it's 108.
My AC is not working very well. I think my AC is broken. So it gets down to about 90 in here, but like literally I'm soaked and I have this stupid spotlight in my face and I'm a pussy. So I'm gonna get out of here.
Bye, Max.
See you, Max.
Damn, you made him call himself.
Someone in the chat said that the bread's the carb hit. I eat 2.5 loaves, sometimes 3 loaves of bread a week. I eat a lot.
Do you make your own bread?
No, I just buy the 647
it's
bread.
So good.
Making bread and eating bread.
Sounds like a lot of work.
You take bread protein powder and mix it with yogurt.
John, what? You throw all the ingredients in the machine and then it makes it. It's literally. I tell you not. You have not lived until you've had homemade bread.
Yo,
it smells terrible depending on what you're making.
Who see how like buff John is, and so dude, that's too many carbs, man. Like, yeah, man. What are you doing?
I ate a lot of carbs. I ate a lot of them.
I thought carbs were bad.
Thanks for the advice.
I ate a lot of them. I'm not giving any health advice online.
I was told carbs are bad. Is this true?
No, I ate a lot of them. They're fine.
Oh.
But you gotta do it right. You gotta do it right.
You gotta use carbs.
What if I want to do it wrong?
You gotta carb the F up.
Go to McDonald's.
I already have been.
Never mind, I'm not even gonna start with the advice because if I start, then people are like, well, wait a minute, no. So just forget it.
That's true.
A14 says, can you imagine Nintendo releasing their new console with a new Donkey Kong, new Super Mario 2D, Pikmin 4, Breath of the Wild 2, and surprise games like 1, 2, 3 Switch?
Hey,
I'm not gonna do that.
1, 2, 3.
I'll take it.
Wait.
Stars, man.
1, 2, 3. That's the game that internally they all hate. So yeah, but really, gotta bring that out. That works.
That means it's gonna do really well, man.
Eric says, will Sony's first party games in 2023 be like Microsoft 2022 first party games? And no, only because I think the PlayStation VR 2 is out in the first half of next year and they'll put games next to it. They basically have to. They have to launch with some games around it. So I think they will actually I think they'll have a fair amount in the first half of 2023. I mean, we don't even know when Spider-Man is. We assume Spider-Man's like second half, but hey, you never know. Could fall in there. Liam says, when do we get Mario Kart DLC Wave 2?
I would assume in like a month or two, right?
Tomorrow.
It should be. Wait, it should be like this. Is it the end of this month?
Yeah, it should be. I would think it would be this month.
I'd have to look at that. I think it's the end of this month. So I feel like that's a Twitter drop. They're just going to drop it on Twitter. Hey, there it is. Here's a little chart.
Yeah.
Go crazy. Danny says common RGT 85L. I don't know when this came in, Sean. I just have to assume when he took the L.
It's fictitious.
The fictitious L.
Spyro Jones says, rip Sly Cooper. You'll always be our favorite devious, mischievous raccoonus. Do you think there's a place for Sly Cooper now, or is it the right move for them to just move away from it, saying nope, we're done with it?
Sly Cooper was never a thing.
Oh man,
come on!
Whoa.
He's going right for it.
If it does return, it would have to be super niche. They'd have to aim for it to be a small game.
I say you give that to Team Asobi. Let them do something with it. I don't even think what was the Sucker Punch. They didn't even make the last Sly Cooper game. Who was that? Someone else made it. It wasn't them. I don't even know why are they even talking about Sly Cooper.
Didn't they drop a movie, or did that movie get canceled?
I thought there was something. Wasn't there gonna be something?
Yeah, that thing has been in a non-moving state for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what really disappointed me is when they said Infamous, because I was like, that would have been, that's a cool one to see on the PlayStation 5. See what they can do with that. I mean, on the PS4, Second Son looks awesome. So I would have loved to see them take a shot at him. And some people said that they already have a superhero game of Spider-Man. It's not theirs. Like, people realize that's not Spider-Man. The game is not Sony's. Like, they license that through Marvel. I think it's better to create their own superhero game just in case, because you never know what happens with all that with Disney. So I would have liked to see Infamous. I think that could have been cool. Truly Epic says, anyone here finished The Boys season 3?
Yes,
I did. Watched it as soon as it released. I was there Thursday.
They released it early.
Thursday 8 p.m. I was ready.
Yeah,
I was ready.
good stuff.
It was good. It was good. They're still doing that tease. They don't want to just completely finish it. I understand.
The season overall, fantastic.
Good season overall.
The season finale, a lot of good, a lot of but season 4,
Let's talk about The Boys.
Yeah. I like the season finale, but they're not ready to commit, and they're waiting for the next season to do something else. I get it, but I liked what I saw in that entire run. The season was a good watch. It was a good watch. Completely recommend anyone jump in. If you can get through the first 15 minutes of The Boys season 3 with that first episode at the party, you could probably watch anything in movie history.
Loved it. Love The Boys. It's like my favorite show. Like my favorite shows.
See, I can't watch it.
I heard that Sean's not watching The Boys because he had to watch some movie from I don't know.
Because everyone here is sucking it's the best ever. It's the best ever. I hate when people do that for anything. It drives me nuts, and I will go out of my way to not watch it.
I get that way with something.
You watch Jurassic Park all the time, and everyone loves Jurassic Park.
But nobody talks about it.
I talk about it
all the time.
I was sitting here, I was like, man, I like that Jurassic Park movie. That's just the best ever.
The Boys seems like it'd totally be your type of show, Sean, especially
Sean. No. Sean, on their subreddit, there was an entire fight going on, so people hate this thing.
Yeah, people do actually hate the show too.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, Sean. People hate it.
Trying to bait me in.
I'm telling. I can show you go look at the Reddit. People are just mad.
Because
called
Herogasm. There's an episode called Herogasm.
Well, this last season walked away from the comic book, right? That would immediately anger the nerds.
The Splatoon OLED might have been there. There you go, Sean.
Yeah, it was there.
No, it was definitely there.
It was there.
It was just Splatoon guy.
He's like, take this Splatoon.
Sean is literally the Grinch.
The bird
he opened the closet. He opened the door, and it was like, "There's the Splatoon 3 OLED."
I watched the Bird Box finally.
Why?
People said it. I remember when it first came out. Everyone was
wait, that's what you watched? You could have been watching the
Bird Box instead. No shots at Bird Box, but
people
come on, man.
The Bird Box though. People were like memeing, not like it was like it was like people were memeing it more so.
It was hyped up because a lot of people were like, "Oh, I was so cool, and I read the book before it came a movie." But and I don't. Maybe it will motivate you. I won't watch The Boys, Sean. So therefore, you.
Oh, Click! I think you should watch it. You would like it.
Absolutely not.
If Click was
why would you not like it? I don't understand why you would not.
No,
like it.
Click's watching New Girl right now.
I am watching New Girl, and I love New Girl.
The Boys is so good. Such a good show.
I think you'd like The Boys, Click.
I'm just not a dick and balls freaking fighting.
There's more to it than that.
Yeah, there's more. They don't show dick and balls a lot.
But
that's only 50-50.
I can watch a show that doesn't have really any at all, or one that has some. I'd rather watch the one that doesn't have any. I just don't care for.
There's barely any dick and balls. There's a few dick and balls.
What are you talking about, OJ?
There's a few, no, it's not the central theme of dick and balls everywhere. It's not like it's like a central theme, with it. Yes, there's a few.
Yeah, but you can't say, there's not a lot.
Hold on.
There's not like a lot. There's just some.
There's a lot.
There was this series that Sean was watching. He was telling us about it, and I'm like, I can't watch that, Sean, because everyone likes that series.
I never finished it.
What series is that, Sean?
Because I was watching it with that chick I was with. Euphoria.
Okay, Euphoria has a lot.
There are two different series that I started watching with a chick, and then we broke up, and then I never finished watching them. Daredevil on Netflix and Euphoria.
Oh, no,
never finished Daredevil.
Click, you can't.
Perfect combination.
Oh, not Daredevil.
No, Click doesn't watch Daredevil. There's too much violence and gore and stuff going on.
No. Violence and gore is
I think someone might have been shirtless at one point.
Listen, no, they're very different. Okay, I'm trying to watch what I say here. Freaking Daredevil is good because it's like the contrasting. It's a dark, gritty story, but it's dark and gritty without the other stuff.
What?
Just it's a good medium in between. I was actually just thinking about this in the shower the other day because people were like, "Why don't you watch The Boys be like Daredevil?" Because there's a blatant lack. There's a blatant lack of all of the stuff that The Boys has that Daredevil doesn't, that I'm very appreciative of, because I don't like.
Name one.
I don't like people doing things just to be like, yo, here's the line. Let's run past it and then rip our pants off and then keep running. That's what I feel like The Boys is.
There's a lot of pants ripped off.
The pants don't get ripped. No, the pants don't get ripped off. He flies. He teleports out of his pants. Okay.
He does teleport out of his pants.
He just teleports out of the pants.
Is it a superhero show?
Yeah, it's about you. You really
I thought it was like a Sons of Anarchy thing.
No. It's actually a really good concept. It's like superheroes who are actually really bad, but they have an image that they.
It's like if Disney owned real life superheroes.
It's the business of
but they're really
superheroes,
bad.
yeah.
They're technically really bad people.
Yeah.
Well, most of them are.
The thing about it though, it's like all the heroes that so it's like
Superman's in there.
Superman,
Wonder Woman,
Captain America, but they're all
Batman.
douchebags. Most of them, it's like the Flash, but he's black.
No, there's and there's technically regular people who are trying to get rid of them or like take down the corporation that's behind them.
Interesting.
It's see, Sean, try it out.
I'm just saying interesting.
You'll watch the first episode and then like tomorrow you'll be like.
You literally said the Splatoon Collector's Edition looks like a splot of jizz on the Switch. Okay, you'd like The Boys.
I said it in my video too.
You'd like The Boys.
Sean, you would love a Soldier Boy. That's his name.
We should let the chat decide for you, Sean.
I'm not watching it.
We should let the chat decide. Just say, should Sean watch The Boys?
I'm busy lighting people on fire in Far Cry 5.
You could play that and watch it at the same time.
No, because then my focus will be distracted.
But if you just play it in the background.
Stop. You don't have anything else to talk about, and that's why you're stretching this out.
No,
I started watching Barry on HBO, and it's really good.
Matthew says, when will Nintendo sell white Joy-Cons? They still haven't since the OLED came out. That is a good question, actually. I didn't even realize that.
If they took the dock for the Splatoon and they gave white Joy-Cons with the same design, I would be like, let's do it.
Versus the gradient Joy-Cons?
Yeah, I don't like the gradient.
Is it because they don't look good with the dock?
Not feeling it.
Interesting. Okay. Zuck says 40K to remind Nintendo of Zelda 35. Fine, I'm on it. Yosemite says Xbox handheld rumors were going wild. People have said Xbox Series S handheld is impossible. Steam Deck is expensive. Switch 2 will be a small upgrade. I don't know why. The only reason Microsoft would do it handheld is they've tried to tie it into their xCloud thing, and then it would just be a shell basically with like an ARM processor that allows you to stream games in your house. Basically, then you just don't have to use your phone for xCloud, which is still kind of strange because if you get a call while you're playing a game, it's or text messages you got to reply, it can mess things up. So I actually would mind the idea of them doing that, but I don't think it'd be like overly successful for them or anything. Marcus says scalpers will be rabid for a new Switch model. Yeah, they will. That would get ugly. Bat says this is an MVG appreciation super chat. That is all.
Thank you.
And then we have Micah says 2023 Switch Pro, 2024 Switch Lite OLED.
And then
I like
2025.
I like that timeline. 2025, nothing.
2020, no. Sorry, that's not happening. Nope.
And then we have Ross saying, I am religiously chilling out playing Civilization 5 or 6 on my PC while I listen to you guys each week. Also, Sean, what was the meat of the week?
What did I eat this week? Hey, roast beef.
I knew it.
Okay. This is from Geeky saying, I have seen 2 Xbox Series X's in 2 Walmarts this week. I saw there's a couple of Series S's at the Walmart near me right now, actually. So
I haven't seen a single one. Haven't seen a Switch OLED in forever. Haven't seen a PS5 or Series X at Walmart.
There's a store near me that sells like the retro games. They have like 6 Switch OLEDs, and I think just no one knows they're there. Just no one understands that they're there because it's like kind of buried in the back. And I see them, and I'm like, that's weird. I would not have expected to see that.
Sad.
Neon says, do you guys think if Nintendo released their IPs on PC or Steam, GOG, less people would pirate their games? No, people would still pirate them.
I think it would come down to less people would just buy their console, and they want people to buy their console. So
they definitely want people to buy their console. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, the only time Nintendo would do anything with PC, I think, is if the console was unnecessary and we really did have like an all streaming like future, which would be odd. Jamie says, I hope you're settling in your new home, MVG. Love all you guys.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Shut up, Sean.
Dude, my grandma told me the fucking freakiest story when I was over there for my birthday.
Go on.
Is that where you're stopping?
We're too close to the after show.
Okay, you're gonna see that at the after show. Okay. Kiki says Psychonauts has a collector's edition coming in winter that also includes a physical copy of the game, and I am 8-bit.
See Ross, how hard that is.
People are really excited for the Psychonauts physical copy. That's cool.
Heck yeah, man.
Ross says
physical.
Yes, absolutely. We absolutely do. Last year, I made a goal from March 2021 to 2022 to try my backlog, knock that down. My goal was 26 in 52 weeks. I did 37. I have a wife, 2 kids, 6-figure job this year. Since April 1st, I've done 13 because I had surgery in June. Wow, that's quite the stretch. Jeez.
I thought he was gonna say like I was gonna like lose weight or something like that, but it was video.
He just went for the game.
I thought he was setting up for something though. It's like no, my video game back. Like okay, no, shout outs though, my man. Shout outs.
Georgie says thoughts on Skull and Bones Beyond Good and Evil 2 as well. They said it's gonna suck. Beyond Good and Evil 2 apparently it's still in active development, and I'm not even kidding. Internal playtests or external playtests are going to be starting soon.
You think they're going to come out and announce which community members wrote the music for it or something?
Yeah, right, dude. I got to see what this game is. Someone needs to leak this.
MVG is one of the developers.
I need.
I'm telling you.
To see what Beyond Good and Evil 2
looks like. They've shown.
I mean, it's just a big scam. Like you're not getting paid to do it. Why would you fucking do it?
Right.
Skull and Bones is coming out, which I have a hard time believing too. Like it just does not look that interesting. So Beyond Good and Evil 2 is definitely going to come out at some point. Like they are going to push that thing out the door, which Skull and Bones, I watched the live stream. I just don't think that game's for me. It's the Assassin's Creed naval combat without any kind of Assassin's Creed.
It's like you already perfected it. It was called Assassin's Creed 4.
I think the main thing they've hinted at in it is the idea of fighting giant sea monsters, which was in their first trailer, the idea of actually having to fight a kraken, but that was it.
Sure.
Like,
that would be kind of cool. Yes. But like I don't know. It looks.
And do that in Sea of Thieves.
I just kind of feel like it's going to come out.
Sharks.
People.
Yeah. That is true.
Ghost ships.
Maybe talk about it for a day or two, and then we'll move on from it. It just didn't look that captivating to me.
Just announcing a new Assassin's Creed game. Jordan and I want to play it.
I think they're announcing that in September.
1,000 hours.
I think they're finally announcing this big, all-encompassing, growing online
like
game
Assassin's
soon.
Infinity or something, right?
Yeah.
But they have a smaller Assassin's Creed game that's going to get announced too.
Yeah, we'll see. You know, as long as it doesn't take 90 hours to beat this story, I'll be okay.
Yeah, smaller is 45 hours, right? Cut it in half.
Yeah, cut it in half. Yeah. You know, go back to the old school ways. Let me collect 100
I'm
feathers.
okay with like a 30 to 40 hour Assassin's Creed, but then you guys tell me it was like 80 hours or something for Valhalla.
I raced through the game.
If it was a 40 hours, I might stomach through an Assassin's Creed game if it was 40 hours.
I stopped playing it like 130 hours.
Stop playing.
So, that's why I stopped playing, because I was doing all the extra side stuff, and I was like, you know what? What am I doing here?
Enough of this.
There was more.
And that's not even touching any of the DLC that's come out after that. You know, it's just like, I've had enough time here.
Christopher says, have you seen the new impressions of Darktide that was released today? Skill Up did an awesome video about it. I did not. I can check. I'll check out Skill Up's video. Yeah, we'll check out Skill Up's video. Uncharted says, I've beaten more games this year because I rank each one I beat on a list. Currently at 29, about to be 30 with 3 hopes. Wow. Then we have Victor saying, has anyone played the new psychological survival horror game Madison on PC, PS5, Xbox that just came out? It's pretty scary.
I looked at video of it. It seems to be mostly relying on like jump scare stuff of a character that apparently just vanishes and reappears and stuff.
Is their name Madison?
Brandon says, I have over 600 hours in all 4 Cold Steel games, worth the time put in. Yes, I've heard it is a massive time sink, and I'm like 30 hours into this first one. So this is going to be a journey. I understand. But it is, people have touted it as like one of the best experiences for JRPG fans. So I'm gonna, it's getting interesting. I will say that. I'm past the tutorial. Christabel says, great to see Misclick and John on Nintendo podcast. Look forward to Jordan Fringe next and RGT's Who TF Guess. Guys, ready for Lollipop Chainsaw Remake? Yes. That's coming out next year. I'm very curious how this is going to go. If they change up any of the fighting, the combat mechanics. They said they're going to change the visual style up. But this is a game it's stuck on the 360.
I love that they're bringing it back, but the fact that Suda and James Gunn are not involved is a little concerning. But hopefully whoever's doing it,
that was kind of weird when they said that. That was a little strange. I was like, oh, they're not part. They're not going to consult.
Even in a consulting or an executive producer role, or just be involved in some capacity is a little strange.
That has in that case, that could actually end up looking weird if they're going to change the visual style that much without asking them, hey, what was this supposed to look like if we go to 4K with it or something. I don't want to say I'm getting 13 vibes because that was a really bad remake, but
hey, aren't they updating 13 or something?
Yes, they're going to try to update it.
14.
I'll give it another shot. I will. They're going to do a massive overhaul patch in September alongside of the Switch release. Don't buy the Switch release on day one. Oh my gosh, no one buy it on day one. Well, maybe Sean if he wants to do a video, but like no one buy it because like they got to prove that one first. All right, so look at reviews.
Oh, buy it.
Mac Vegas says, shout outs to RGT for introducing me to Katamari Damacy. Are the other games in the series worth getting? Thinking of buying the Vita version.
I never really played anything beyond the first one.
How did you? Okay, I was about
funny
to say.
that you say that because that is a great treadmill game. You do the last mission, which is like 25 minutes, and you just wheel around while you're on the treadmill. I just beat it again on the Xbox recently, like within the past week.
Skyline says, can anyone recommend a good pre-workout? I used the original Jacked when I was going regularly about 10 years ago, but it's not available anymore.
I'm
not married to anyone pre-workout. I have to see which one I have in the kitchen. But if I don't have a pre-workout available, I usually just get an apple. That's cut up. That's what I eat before the gym.
An apple?
Whoa.
Mm-hmm. An apple. Or you can get a Rice Krispie treat if you want that. If you want like easy sugar.
What about a plum?
Sure, fruit. I like having fruit before the gym. I don't know. So usually it's an apple because you can get them cut up. You can buy little bags from Walmart that come in like a big like container, and it's just bags of apples. You just pop them open and eat them on the way there.
What kind of apples?
Easy.
Granny Smith?
I don't know. There's like red or green apples. I don't know.
A lot of different. There's Honey Crisp.
Gotta get the Fuji. Fuji
golden
apples.
I'm not like the apple connoisseur. just as long as it's an apple. And Chris says, why is the GameCube better than the 64?
Lots of reasons.
It's got a handle.
Don't stop super chatting, OJ.
Seriously. Lots of reasons.
Jordan says, boys theme Switch OLED next. Well, we almost have it there with this the Splatoon one.
Don't do that to my Splatoon.
Hero-gasm Splatoon.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Splatoon.
Black says, what's your opinion on the RTX 370 Ti? I think they meant 3070 Ti at retail. I mean, the prices have been going down on video cards. I was telling people, hold out. Now they're like almost MSRP even. So I think they're actually going to get lower even. Yeah, I think used ones are going to fall below MSRP.
Below MSRP?
Mm-hmm.
You're crazy.
Yep. I think once the 4 series cards get announced, it's over for the 30 series. That might be the time to get that 3080 Ti then, MVG. Then it's time to move in.
I'm on it.
Then it's time to move in. Or hold out, hope that you can get in the ticket system for the 4080 or whatever. But probably small upgrade anyway. Not like tiny upgrade, like maybe not noticeable depending on what you're doing. Going 8K? You going for 8K, MVG?
Yeah, if it's available.
You are? Oh,
I'm
wow.
do
Okay,
it.
never mind. All right. I'll keep it on the 48 then. And then Diz says, I've been wanting to try Breath of the Wild on Cemu. I have a Wii U and Breath of the Wild. How hard is it to rip my own ROM? And can you point me in the direction? Love the show. Ripping a Wii U game.
It's actually quite easy to do. Obviously, it's beyond the scope of this podcast, but just check out like GBA Temp or something along those lines and find a guide there. There'll be something there for you.
The RGT after show might be on there. Just tune in.
This is Edwin saying Lollipop Chainsaw lost its licensed soundtrack for the remake. Yes, they have to redo quite a bit of it, and it most likely won't have like any of that licensed music.
I feel like it's just a random game to remake.
This is why you don't use a bunch of licensed music. This is why you don't do it. Just make your freaking own.
Oh, Shinru says Dead Space 1 through 3 is better than Resident Evil 4 through 6.
Ooh.
4 through
Well, okay, so we have to include 6 in that.
That's the problem. Is that 6?
Ooh, that is
but
tough.
Resident Evil 4 is just better than Dead Space.
Yeah,
so
but then you got to bring along Resident Evil 6, and it's like
I think as a collective, if we're looking at the collective of 3 and 3, I kind of agree with him.
But they got Dead Space. But they got Dead Space 3 though.
Dead Space
3 is still great. It has
still
issues,
pretty
but it's
good.
still a great game. There's a lot of good in there.
That was the one where they wanted you to
action.
pay microtransactions for guns and stuff. I think was that the one that they were.
They had
with?
microtransactions in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think I'd rather play Resident Evil 6 is terrible.
And I'd
rather play Resident Evil 6's Leon's campaign and be like, all right, I'm good.
No, I never want to play 6 again. 5, I don't think 5 is a great game, but I love 5. To me, it's a great game. I just think
co-op 5 is absolutely
co-op 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is incredible. The story's great too. Like you find out about like the team all the way back, like Africa or whatever. The story's really good. The gameplay's good.
It's 3 co-op. It's really good.
Yeah, that's true, but like I just think that Resident Evil is just better in my opinion.
You can't
Resident Evil 4
punch a boulder in Dead Space.
Resident Evil 4 just smokes kind of like all of them, right? Like,
you can curb stomp all the enemies though.
That's true.
Yeah, but in Resident Evil you can like roundhouse kick them. You can suplex them too in Resident Evil 4. You can suplex enemies.
I'm gonna go over to the Streamlabs as we do our outros. Sean's gonna have an after show on his channel. I'll head over there for a bit as a voice for.
It's on the secondary channel, and this is kind of the test run. So if something fucks up, whatever. At least I tried.
Let me go through some of these Streamlabs as outros. Breaksu says, "I don't want to be that guy, but would you say that the pictures that were sent to the God of War developer actually work? See how navigate for God of War."
No.
No, I would say that did not work. Not at all.
Fix? No.
Yes, no, that didn't work. No, that's we were gonna get it. We were gonna get the release date at some point anyway. It's just people on Twitter being weird.
It's a joke question, right?
We'd like to think so.
Seems pretty.
But it did come from the same place where those dick pics came from. So.
Mr. Stud Muffin says too much Balin for RGT at too many games again. It seems. Can't wait for you to finally play it, and I hope you finally show up next year. I got 4 copies of Balin waiting for your name on them.
I will not play it.
They were looking for you, Sean. They were there. They were ready. They said, Mr. Stud Muffin says again to the members of the Spawncast who weren't on last week, just wanted to say it was lovely seeing you all at too many games, and thanks again for signing Balin Wonderworld. There you go. Nathan says, let's be honest, my hope of a Switch Pro has been obliterated, and I bought a Switch OLED like a schmuck. Can we talk more about Click being an ambassador to make her extra uncomfortable again?
After the podcast.
Yeah.
It doesn't make me uncomfortable. I just feel bad.
We can talk about it on the after show.
There you go.
Oh, yeah? I'm invited?
I told you, all you fuckers are invited.
Jeff Burns
I'm a fucker.
From everything I've seen, I believe we will get a Switch 2 in 2023 using the NVIDIA Orin NX chip. That's a 10-watt variant. Mr. Dublin says video games. Anthony says, what's the origin story behind the misclick name?
Long story short, I had a group of friends I was playing with. One of the guys would always be like, oh no, I made a misclick. And then one time I made a misclick, and then they're like, oh wait, you actually are a misclick. Get it? Because you're a girl. And it stuck.
Oh, I get it.
Then Pyra says, watching the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Special Edition pre-orders open US making me panic. Oh, as a UK resident, praying I can nab one whenever they open over here. Sending good luck to fellow Special Edition wanters and sending a massive middle finger to scalpers.
It'll probably be easier because there won't be as much traffic. Because like in Japan and in like New Zealand and other places, it was fine. People were able to get it. There was no problem. So it won't be as bad in like UK.
Let me go around here. MVG, where can everyone find you?
Thank you for having me on. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and on YouTube, Modern Vintage Gamer. I'm trying to get a video done for Monday. I may not get there, but the good news is regular videos will be resuming shortly. So thank you for being patient with the channel. We just hit 700K subs, so thank you for the love and the support. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Hey, let me go over to OJ. Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, find me right here on YouTube, Player Essence. We are doing a ton of Xenoblade content in terms of new features and things that are happening. So if you're into Xenoblade and RPGs, I've been covering all the new stuff that's been happening because it's been like crazy in the RPG field like this year. So if you're into that, and also live streams, I stream 6 days out of the week. Also run the Spawncast pre-show. Check out the channel Player Essence.
Okay, let me go over to Miss Click.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm back in town now, so I'm back to streaming. We're gonna be playing Monster Hunter Rise and Three Hopes and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. There's a lot of games, and then Xeno 3 is coming out, and then Splatoon. Oh my god. Anyways, you can find me here on YouTube as Miss Click Gaming, or you can find me on Twitch where I am streaming for ridiculous hours.
You gonna stream Stray?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stray. Shoot, that's right. Yeah.
You got it. That has your name all over. You got
streaming that. Yeah.
Did you see the video they had on Twitter of the fast travel?
In the bucket?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I figured. I was like, yes, Wood and Click are gonna be all about
bucket. That. Oh my god, bro. Whatever. I'm gonna be so happy playing that game. But yeah, you can find me playing all of those. About Sean's gonna purposely get the cat killed and be like, look what I did.
Oh,
probably. No. You do that. Anyways,
it's like Tony Hawk animations when he falls off the skateboard.
Misclick_live. That's it.
Jordan, where can everyone find you?
Hey, you can find me on my channel. It's Jordan Fringe. I talk about cartoons.
And let's go to Evan.
Just follow me on Twitter at Kimmerix Project. If I start streaming or if anything's really happening, it gets posted up there.
And what about Sean?
You can find me on RGT85. Come check out the secondary channel. Shower me with birthday gifts.
There you go.
That's all.
You're streaming the after show, so go check out Sean there. You're gonna drop a link in the chat for everyone. And then Scallywag asked, "Hi John, where would you like to travel most? Capcom headquarters, so they can make Mega Man X." I will.
Oh my god.
I'll set them straight on that one. Brandon says, "Anyone played Cold Steel other than John? Thoughts?" I don't think anyone else has played Cold Steel. You did?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, okay. Legendary's okay. Trails Cold Steel. I didn't know if anyone else played it because it's such a niche thing. I thought, but it seems like it's been really picking up steam, and I don't know if it's because they're to the point where they have so many releases that it's one is just at least come across someone's radar at some point. Okay,
it's good. I like it. I like
okay.
Cold Steel games. They're fun.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still in the first one, so I've. You don't even get your a mech until the end of the first game apparently, so it's great. I gotta play all the way through to get there. But people were telling me the second one is the best one in the series. And then third and four, it's you got to go back and play games from the PSP to understand who's in these. And I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta get a PSP. So it sounds like a whole thing. But yes, I will report back on Trails of Cold Steel as I play it over the next 4 years. So there we go. All right, I guess that's everything. Yep. All right, that is. Gonna do it here for us on the Spawncast. Make sure you come check out Sean's second channel. It's RGT Live. Be doing a fun after show of I don't know. It's Sean. Who knows what we got going on? So
who knows?
We'll see you guys next weekend, Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Think for yourself.